Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the 5th round of the 2023 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship live here on Start Your Systems. We're here at RedBud in Michigan for the 5th round of this championship, and I'm so excited to bring you guys the action tonight. Just me in the booth, no Andrew Wood. He unfortunately had a scheduling conflict, so could not make it tonight, but we're going to bring you guys through all of the action here from right now through all of the motos and any consolation races that we also run. So sit back and enjoy the show. We're going to be here for the next 3.5 hours or so and see what happens at the RedBud MX Simulator National. Before we start the race, though, of course, we have to look at our qualifying times to see where everybody's slotted in here tonight. And we'll take a look at our 450 standings first. Cooper Hunt with a 2 flat 0.6 went fastest over Pablo Vial, but you can see a lot of those 2 flats up at the top with Payson Johnson also on a 2 flat 0.8. Eaglin laying in the 201s and then a big gap back to Frank Jackson on a 203.2. Cocroft, Burns, Boutigny for Zaka inside of the top 10. Alexis Leclerc, shockingly enough, at a 205.7 qualifies 16th here tonight, so he's pretty far down the order. Not sure if there was something that went awry there with him or not, but man, people just sent me some stuff for team packs really, really late right now. That is not going to happen. Looking at our 250 class, though, Seth Shirley, wow, very, very fast. 2 seconds faster than anybody else on this track. Saw him talking in the server a moment ago about how he's feeling on this track and what he thinks he needs to do to go fast around it. A 202.1 versus a 204.1 for Braden Tharp and Donia Azcura back this week. Good to see him with Colin Allen and our new championship leader, Cade Matherly, in 5th place on a 204.3. So Matherly rolling in with the red plates now. Has to go up against Shirley and that absolutely ridiculous time that he put down. But here's our 450 championship standings as we roll into the night. Johnson up 7 on Alexis Leclerc, 172 to 165. Carter Lang also still in the mix. Eaglin, a bit of an up and down start to the year, but still 36 back. You could say that he's still in it for sure. And everybody else down the order still trying to get their feet wet and figure it out as we move into the middle point of this championship. 250 standings wise, though, we did see that switch over last time out when we were racing back at High Point, where Cade Matherly was able to take over the championship lead with his 3rd straight victory on the season. Now has a 7-point advantage over Seth Shirley, who had won our opening round and led the championship at every round after that until High Point switched it over. But Matherly and Shirley have separated themselves a little bit as Seth Carr there in 3rd, 26 back. Logan Lights, our defending champion, finally started to look a little bit more like himself at High Point, but he's 34 back already, so he's really got to get things turned around. And then Tharp, also 39 back, separates our top 5 pretty quickly because then it's another 30-point gap from Tharp all the way to Chwalik, 31 points to be exact. And so then we're starting to see some of that separation already throughout the midfield of the 250 class. So that's kind of a look at what our classes are looking like at the moment. Looks like we got a UID grab in, and if I have enough time, I might try to spin a lap or two and show you guys around this RedBud track here tonight. I haven't had much time on it. I did more laps on High Point, but similar vibes so far from this RedBud from what we've seen out of the RaceFactory Gaming track crew this year, which is still pretty high speed, but a lot more rough and rough sections throughout the racetrack just to kind of start things off. Like last few years with the road system in place, they weren't really making the tracks as gnarly, but obviously this is very gnarly, huge braking bumps down in transition. Double out of this corner. There's some choppy stuff into this corner. Try to get into one of these ruts comfortably and maybe not tuck a front end. And continue on our way. Hopefully we'll get up this hill. But this section a little bit different. Just a pretty simple double. It used to just be jumping out into rollers and then carry some speed up to this first big uphill triple. I forget what that jump is called. I know that the RedBud locals have a name for it, but just the first uphill triple. And then if you see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen from here, comes down that hill, off camber, right-hand, basically 180 up into the top of the track again. 180 left down to the famous RedBud tabletop, then the big swooping Talladega right-handed corner in the middle of the racetrack. Takes you basically to the second half of the track. There's kind of two halves of the track at RedBud, and the second half of it is after that tabletop where the flag is. A lot of very iconic photos taken with that American flag. And then a completely reworked section where the leap is. Instead of turning left after that that tabletop and going into the rollers immediately, you're going to swoop way past that, make a long left-hand sweeper into the Larocco's leap jump. Much faster going into it this time, so we should see most everybody be able to do it. And then land hard on the brakes. 180 left takes you over that tricky tabletop in the middle of the track, and then sand rollers up to the finish line. So we might see some different brands of racing this year at this RedBud than we've seen in the past, just because of the way that those sections are designed is just a little bit different than we have seen over the years. Maybe that makes races towards the finish line a little bit more interesting, because instead of the leap being the determining factor, maybe the rollers or maybe that tabletop is a determining factor. So we'll see how it plays out. Kind of excited to see a little bit of change to the track without losing too much of the heritage of what RedBud has. And yeah, also excited to see all the setups here tonight. I know Cowan Fontes in chat just said check out Timmy Briscoe's setup. Before we do that, I want to make sure I have our name displayed here. We got 250 Consi going to the track right now. So Killian Prevost, Chris Post, Dale Mullins, J.R. Reyes, Ryan Swanson, Nathan McLaughlin, Brandon Walther, Tyson Parliament. There is Timmy Briscoe, as mentioned. Trying to see if it says something on the side here. Just KTM Factory Racing. Pretty nice little setup right there. Tyson Parliament, already saw him. There's Joey Bradstreet, Tyler McGuire, Jacob Kelly, Squiddy, Jeremy Schiabro out here, Evan Cormack, and Nick Thomasounis will make up the runners about to go to battle in this consolation race. And there's Thomasounis showing us just how easy even the 250 guys are able to get up and over that big uphill Larocco's Leap triple jump. So we're about set to go. These guys will be going 4 laps, and the top 4 will transfer into the motos. There's already been 36 riders that have made it in, and these are the guys that did not qualify in straight on time, so they've got to race their way in, and that's why it's called a consolation race. We should be just about set to go. There is our consolation lineup. 16 riders going for those 4 spots. And let's have some fun, shall we? Drop the gates, run some races here on RedBud in MX Simulator. Only yelled at once, Scooty, so far. But there will be many, many more to come. I think my plan is definitely the... when the guys hit the leap on the first lap, every single moto, I'll probably yell it. I feel like it's a given. Like, you have to yell it when they hit the leap. So we're set to go. Racing is about to commence here at RedBud, round 5 of the MX Simulator Pro Nationals. But before we can race the Pro National, we have to see who all qualifies into the Pro National, and we're going to find out right here. 250 consolation race. Here we go. Well, those guys starting on the outside gates didn't get the best jump, but it was one of the riders out of the middle. It's J.R. Reyes on the Dynaco 72. He's going to come through and pick up that whole shot. Chris Post right behind him on the 61 with Killian Prevost also in the mix. And Thomasounis up in the top 4 early on. But a lot of guys made it through that first turn complex pretty well, even with those big braking bumps into the first corners. So pretty excited to see that work out the way that it did. Now we get to see how this battle commences. Oh, Post bouncing into the corner, crosses over the lines, holds up everybody. He's actually going to lose a transfer spot as Cash Woods goes into the final transfer spot on the 541. We got side by side at the top of the hill. That's Provost, I believe, and Thomas Sunis who get together huge. And Cash Woods also went down trying to avoid them. That gives us a brand new top 4 as Schiabro goes into second, Posty to third, and Jacob Kelly has now found his way into 4th, and Schiabro's down, and Kelly goes down huge as well. Everybody funneling down to this off-camber has to check up and square off the corner to get up the hill. And a lot of crashing already commencing, making things difficult, including our leader, J.R. Reyes, is down. Unbelievable how fast that all kicked off. And Reyes looks like he's going to pick it up just alongside Timmy Briscoe trying to hold a transfer spot, and he'll shove him aside and maintain position. So Posty now leads from Swanson, Brandon Walther in 3rd, just ahead of J.R. Reyes, who we're watching here in 4th, with Briscoe rounding out the top 5. And we got guys tossing it on that big tabletop. So let's see these guys hit the leap. Chris Post. Oh, he's got the backflip. Oh, and he gets it around. So Swanson, he's throwing it. Some of these guys able to get pretty sideways on the 250s even. Coming from way out there around the corner. A couple guys not able to get all the way over the leap. But Dale Mullins tossing a little floater. And Killian Provost, who was up front, is now way back, as is Thomas Sunis, Tyler McGuire, and myself sitting in warm-up mode. So we see plenty of guys getting saucy on the leap, including, nonetheless, our race leader, Chris Post, backflipping to start things off here tonight. I should have been yelling RedBud right there for sure. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it when it's time. So Posty, even with the backflip, starting to stretch it out front a little bit. Ryan Swanson losing touch with the 61 machine, and then look at this titanic battle. It's still Reyes in the final transfer spot. Briscoe is right there trying to eke down the inside. Can't quite make it happen. Cash Woods is right behind Briscoe. And now Woods might have an inside to outside option here coming down that big step down tabletop. Briscoe's going to go off the track, though, in dramatic fashion, crashing to the outside of the berm right there. And that will promote Cash Woods, but then McLaughlin, no, excuse me, who's that down trying to click onto them? It's Swanson who is down. Ryan Swanson, who was in 2nd place, has gone down. So Post now from Walther, with Reyes moving to 3rd. Cash Woods now finds himself in 4th. And the positions are swapping around aplenty. And now Walther goes down out of 2nd. Man, oh man, this track is absolutely eating these guys alive right now. No one can seem to get through very cleanly. So now Walther has to pick it up and try to hightail it back towards the lead group. So Posty from Reyes, Woods, and McLaughlin now. Nathan McLaughlin of the Fried program moves into the 4th and final transfer spot. Funny to see Alias Gear show its face in the game after a few years. I guess it's been like 5-6 years now with Alias being quote-unquote out of business. They became a CBD company at one point, and now Lorenzo Locurcio, riding for the Wildcat Racing Team, is running what looks like Alias gear, but it's actually canvas gear with Alias logos on it. So I think Alias is making a bit of a comeback, and McLaughlin here displaying a fresh set for our eyes to feast upon. Battle for second still going as we go through the rollers. Cash Woods has closed up onto J.R. Reyes on the 72 machine for this 2nd spot. Doolies over the finish line jump. Woods trying to find a nose in there, but can't quite make it happen just yet. Reyes is going to hug the inside line of the corner, now goes swooping to the outside. Woods is following him into that 3rd rut through the 1st turn complex, and then on the gas into the 2nd turn down past the mechanics area. Reyes popping a little bit of a wheelie, now drops down off the hill. Still has Woods all over him as they bounce into this corner. They're still chasing Chris Post, who is leading. He just went the other way across the bottom of your screen. But this battle for second looks like to be the best one on track as Reyes lands sideways off the track, kind of pirouettes left and right. Still hasn't got it righted just yet. Might not get this uphill triple. He does not, and that is going to maybe cost him a transfer spot, as landing behind him is Bradstreet. Coming in behind him now is Schiabro. Schiabro follows him the long way around. Bradstreet tried that inside, didn't quite work. Schiabro's going to move into 5th, but Reyes is now on the bubble spot. And Schiabro pushing up behind him, trying to make it happen. Carrying that speed through those inside ruts. And swoop down to the outside, the bottom of the hill. This big RedBud table. 3 riders in the air. Almost nose to tail. And Reyes was able to pick it up and kind of stretch it back out a little bit. So good recovery there for the 72. Actually closing up onto Bradstreet, I believe. Or McLaughlin, I should say this is. On the 246 is Reyes. So Reyes has a keen eye ahead of him, trying to close this gap down. He's actually all over him as we go to the leap. Oh, McLaughlin lays it over. Reyes decides not to, actually shorts the leap a little bit, and Schiabro closes back in. So this is 3, 4, 5 on the racetrack. About to change, though, as down out of the corner was Cash Woods. So Woods is going to cough up a transfer spot. McLaughlin goes to 2nd. Schiabro momentarily went to 3rd, and now McLaughlin just went down sideways. Where is Reyes? Reyes was down in this corner at the bottom of the hill. So Posty takes the white flag out front. It's Schiabro crossing in 2nd now. Bradstreet 3rd with Woods in 4th. McLaughlin now in 5th with Reyes back to 6th. Briscoe 7th. Walther 8th with Prevost now in 9th. He just jumped off the track and went down and disconnected. So not sure if he thought that was the finish of the race, but definitely a weird crash. So back into the action. Let's see what happens here as Bradstreet and Cash Woods are debating 3rd place on the racetrack now behind Schiabro. It's like Woods is going to get down the inside and make that pass stick. So just as quickly as he crashed away a transfer spot, he picks it right back off and now has his sights set on Schiabro just ahead of him. Looks like Woods actually has some really good raw speed. Surprised he didn't qualify in on times, but ends up in this consolation race regardless. And now we have a battle brewing for the final transfer spot. Nathan McLaughlin on the 246 Fried Machine versus the 72. That's J.R. Reyes of the Dynaco program coming down in this midsection of the track. Let's see who holds it on for the late braking. McLaughlin really smooth around the outside, but Reyes, even with that tiptoe on the inside, didn't lose much time. We drop down the hill. Up and over this big tabletop jump. Reyes looking outside, but then gets blocked as McLaughlin jumps that inside rut. Now we go up to the top of the mid part of this racetrack. Reyes, front end tuck, not down off the bike, but does lose some time. Will that be costly enough? Well, actually, McLaughlin just made another mistake, and Reyes is going to close right back up onto him as we go nearly nose to tail over the big tabletop. Now it's down to the leap. Reyes was really fast through here last time by. He's really fast again, almost slides it out, trying to get the leap still at the top of the hill. He has to stretch it. He's going to land short, and he goes down. J.R. Reyes cases the leap on the last lap and goes down. So McLaughlin will continue on. Let's see if he can hold it. Meanwhile, Chris Post, unbeknownst to him, all the action going on behind, Posty takes the consolation race victory. It's Schiabro's 2nd. Cash Woods will come through in 3rd. And McLaughlin survives that attack from J.R. Reyes, and he will finish up in the 4th spot. So McLaughlin into the motos. Briscoe misses out, as does Reyes. Reyes will kick himself right there because he had the speed but missed the leap basically 2 laps in a row, and that really hurt him. Thomassunas not going through either in what would be his home race here. Brandon Walther, Evan Cormack, Tyler McGuire, Joey Bradstreet, Dale Mullins, Killian Prevost, who we saw disconnect, Ryan Swanson, Tyson Parliament, also not making it through out of this one. So those guys are heading home for the night, and it's up to our front 4 that we just saw go through to see if they can get it done. By the way, Chris Post just went straight to the tender, juicy pit beef area. Deep fried fish with some hand-pulled pork barbecue. Doesn't get much better than that. Little french fries on the side. It's going to get some refreshments before the motos begin. Cuts are in, and nothing changes there. So McLaughlin makes it in. He's stoked. He has got that Team Fried Machine revved up on the podium right now, as Cash Woods, Jeremy Schiabro, and Chris Post go through with him. So that is our 250 consolation race. I think there was enough people for a 450 consi, so we'll see as we roll in. That was a good little start to the night, though. Always fun to have close racing in the consolation race like that. Good to see everybody in the chat. Saw Scooty talking earlier. People stoked on the backflip that Posty pulled on the first lap. Zane598 says the track is gnarly. Oh, Tommy Brizzle's here tonight. Got Wise Guys Racing. He's a big fan of Cash Woods from MX Bikes. My Hand's here and says that Cash was 8th in quali, but he's in the consi. I don't know what happened there. You can always just quickly check that, I suppose. Fact check you, brother. But yeah, great to have everybody hanging out here tonight. No A-Wood tonight, Biggie Cheese. Unfortunately, had a scheduling conflict, so couldn't quite make it. Ooh, Dale Mullins going back into retirement from RF now. You hate to see it. All right, let's see. 250 motocross. Yeah, Cash Woods was 8th, so the only thing I can assume is that he missed UID grab, which is common for players jumping from a different game like he did from bikes. All right. Disconnect and reconnect. Yeah, if you're not used to how MX Simulator races run, you absolutely have to be in the server at 5:30 to get your UID grabbed, and if you're not, you won't be pulled in the original script. And if that happens, usually they don't let anybody in. Doesn't even matter consi or not. But it looks like for that case, they did let him race the consi, and he made it in. So cool to see that he still got in. All right, 450 consi coming up. Let's change the graphic there on our screen. And let's go racing again, shall we? Unfortunately, I was not able to grab the Spink RedBud bikes. Yeah, that was a pretty late message. Like, I already had the stream running. Usually I give you guys like about a 30-minute leeway, but 0 minutes ain't gonna work for me. So we are ready to go for the 450 consi. 4 go through. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, into the first corner. Simo's gonna run it in deep as we got one of the Cowies up the inside going down. Was that Hubbard on the 78? I don't think so. But it is Simos who comes out with the lead. Robert Wilson on the 75 is in second. And then we got Colton Adams in the mix early on, getting passed and getting taken down by, who was that was down? It is Hubbard in this one. Ace Enlow going to that second corner hot. So Jacob Hubbard, somehow the Phil's Ski and Snowboard 78 ride ends up in the consi here today. No idea how that had happened, but it could be the same exact scenario that we had saw there with Cash Woods, just a missed UID grab there for Hubbard. And backflips the uphill trip on the first lap, clips Jeff Cooper, puts him down. So strategic riding there for Hubbard to backflip and put his closest competition on the ground. Now Hubbard's kind of bouncing down the hill. He's in 4th spot, though. It's a good run early on. JGMX up in 3rd. Robert Wilson in 2nd, all over our early race leader, Eduardo Simos. Oh, that is Wilson down out of P2, and down goes JGMX. I don't know if he was trying to avoid him, but they both end up down in the same corner. Reno Brennan looks like he just went by. A few others going to go by as JGMX picks it up. AC, Will Canal. So Robert Wilson, I think, is now in our final transfer spot. He is. Reno Brennan was that rider that we saw go by, the Wildside Designs. I think he's number 422, but runs the 0 on the machine. So Simos gets the leap first lap. What's Hubbard got for us? Oh, dear God. Didn't land it. Yeah. Brennan also went down. I'm trying to go back and actually watch these guys hit the leap. Ace Enlow, let's see what he's got. Straight air. Carl Novak. Just a little flick whip right there. Jeff Cooper. Nick Langstrup. Looks like he's going long. Colton Adams also just giving everyone a little bit of a fair shake to see what we got. As Adams hops up the big uphill triple. You guys were down there coming to the flag. So 1 lap in the books. Eduardo Simos is leading. Robert Wilson still up in 2nd. Will Canal now into 3rd. The 824 district ride. And then JGMX is back into a transfer spot now. So he was out. Now he is back in. Wildside Designs number 27 machine makes his way into 4th. And Ethan Olsen on the BFC 318 now in 5th, trying to close up. That turning double out of the corner. Riding through the rollers into the U-turn. Really, that corner in real life is just really deep, kind of mulchy sand. But in the game, it's pretty easy to get through, as demonstrated by Ethan Olsen there. So Olsen will continue his quest. Try to close this gap down. We'll go on board of them here for a minute and see what it's like to view this racetrack from his perspective as he tries to close up there on JGMX. Bouncing down the hill a little bit there is Olsen, going to the outside line up to the big step up table. Whoa, way off the track goes JGMX to the right side. Olsen on the gas around the outside up to the Larocco's Leap uphill triple. Got that gap closed down a little bit more now, almost under a second. So can Ethan Olsen get it done? Actually, looks like maybe a change up ahead. JGMX has caught up to Will Canal and is making a run at him over the finish line jump. Crossover, they hit. How did they both stay up? Unbelievable saves for both riders. Very rare in MX Simulator you can make contact with somebody in midair to that degree and both stay on 2 wheels. So kudos in that facet right there for Canal and JGMX to stay on 2 wheels, because for now at least it is caught, it has made both of them not lose a transfer spot, I should say. Can they keep it up? JG is going back after Canal again. He must be feeling a little bit of that pressure coming from behind, and does not want to get passed out of the top 4 positions. Everyone kind of funneling to this outside line at the bottom of the hill. Doesn't seem viable to hit that far inside option. And look at that though. JGMX kind of missed that inside rut right there, and Ethan Olsen is sitting there waiting to pounce. This is a great race with 2 laps down and about a lap and a half still to go on this racetrack. 4 riders essentially nose to tail. Only 3 of them go into the motos as it stands. As Robert Wilson leads the train and almost throws it away going up to the big tabletop. He's about 5 seconds off of our leader, Simos. But it's Wilson 2nd, Canal 3rd, JGMX 4th, and Olsen right behind these guys in 5th. We'll go back on board of them again. Oh, JGMX is going to miss the leap as Olsen goes by. And backflipping the leap in the background is Reno Brennan. These guys out here having a day. So Wildside Designs kind of all over the gap in this consolation race. They got Brennan in 6th, JGMX in 5th. And Ethan Olsen on a TM just ahead of them as the white flag has been waved. Our leader Simos is just trying to put one more clean lap together. He'll be headed to the motos if he does so. Robert Wilson just behind him in 2nd. Will Canal 3rd. And there is Olsen now getting around JGMX with that pass on the leap. Do not discount Reno Brennan, though, in the background. Or really either guy trying to get around Ethan Olsen. Olsen is trying his hardest to hold position, swapping into the corner. Oh, Olsen stands it up and taking advantage is JGMX. Olsen still side by side, backs out of the challenge. JG misses the rut. Olsen gets that inside rut a little bit better, and then stays lower, trying to get that power planted going up the hill. Reno Brennan is right there behind him. He's going to scrub it out, try to get to this inside line as Olsen funnels with JG to the outside. And Olsen up and over the berm, goes down. So now it's between the teammates, Brennan versus JGMX for the final transfer spot. If they can, Will Canal is just up the road. Or, excuse me, wait a minute. Where is Robert Wilson? Robert Wilson has fallen out of a transfer spot. He is now outside looking in, and he has got to catch Reno Brennan. So can the 75 get it done on the final lap of the race? He was in second for so much of this one. Must have just crashed off screen. We did not see it. But as he picks it up, he is now right on the tail feathers of Reno Brennan as we head to the leap for the final time. This 450 consolation race. Brennan still backflipping as Wilson goes super long and thought about making a dive down the inside. Backed out of the challenge. Is he going to get close enough to try again? Big scrub off the table. Brennan gets it very cleanly. Goes to the far outside. Off the track was Canal. And Canal is going to rejoin now in 5th position, just behind Wilson. Simos takes the win out front. It's going to be JGMX going through in 2nd. Brennan gets 3rd. And Robert Wilson just narrowly defeats Will Canal, who was off the track with 2 turns to go in this race. And it costs him the overall Moto transfer spot right there as Olsen crosses in 6th now. Hubbard is not going through to the Motos. He ends up out of a transfer spot in 7th in this one. No idea why. Very confused why Jacob Hubbard will not be in the Motos tonight, but that is the current situation as we see it. Doolies. Carl Novak tossing with Colton Adams. This guy's not going through either, but always good to see the fun still being had. Nick Langstrup will miss out. AC, Ace Enlow, Jack Fowler, Jeff Cooper, all those guys not going through. So a bit unfortunate there, but that is it. Whew. Crazy consolation race there at the end, as it would turn out. Oh, land on it. Nice. Hubbard with a transfer. Very curious why Hubbard didn't make it. And cuts are in. Whoa, Robert Wilson does not make it through. Will Canal is going through into the Motos on cuts. Robert Wilson had 3.08 seconds of penalties, and Will Canal is the beneficiary because of that. He is going to the Motos. And, oh, wow. Yeah, so Wilson missed out. Reno Brennan gets 3rd. JGMX gets 2nd, and Simos still takes the win. But that was a change there. Wilson getting bumped, and Canal going into the Motos. So 250 Moto 1 coming up, folks. Catch the fever. New red plate holder Cade Matherly leads the 250 field in to the 2023 RedBud MX Simulator National live here on Start Your Systems. Can Matherly continue that strong early season form that he was displaying, winning the last 3 rounds and stealing that championship lead away from Seth Shirley? Well, we're going to be able to see what happens to kick things off here. 30 minutes plus 2 laps will be on the cards here at RedBud. And these guys are set to do battle on one of the most iconic tracks in all the world and the host track of last year's 2022, I should say, Motocross of Nations event. All right, what's the chat room saying? Got some people reacting to Reno Brennan stuff. Scooty Puff is stoked on the Wild Side Designs Consi domination. Definitely weird not to see Hubbard go through. It's Jordan 8 says Cade Matherly and Jet Lawrence. Well, they both have a chance at winning their respective national titles this year, which would be pretty cool to see. Obviously, they're buddies, so maybe they'll reminisce about both of their triumphs by the end of the season when it comes to the end. Got the start right in Legends, but not in Sim, LOL. Interesting. What? Are they reverting back to the old left-hand first turn at RedBud? That I did not know. That seems really odd that they would do that, actually. That left-hand first turn was pretty universally disliked by the pros. So I don't see why they would do that, but all right, cool. Yeah, so the Legends track, it's basically the old left-hand first turn start, but instead of it being an immediate U-turn like it was, it's like left-hand and then a pretty long straightaway, then the right-hand turn. So basically, more or less, that area right in front of me is where the start will come from, and then it's going to turn left and go all the way to that corner, is what allegedly James Lale is saying. I think that that's really odd that RedBud would go back to that because, like I said, almost every rider hated it, but okay, cool. All right, so 250 class going to the line here tonight. Here's a look at some of the runners out there. There is Cade Matherly with those red plates ready to go. And it is time, ladies and gentlemen. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. And we are set and ready to go. Just loading into the gate for everybody now. There they are. And it is time to drop the gate here at RedBud for the MX Simulator National. Let's take a look towards the middle-ish of the gate here. Cade Matherly with those red backgrounds. Let's follow him. Here we go. 250 Moto 1 is off and running. Matherly shuts the door hard on the inside, then runs deep and gets caught up in a huge pileup. Seth Carr on the Covenant, number 13 ride, picks up the Studio 8 whole shot. As he leads the field through the second corner, Logan Leitzel on the one machine's got a great start. Schaefer also in the mix. He's got a good one as well. Paolini, Harrison, Gafford off the top with a good start inside the top 5. And then you can see everybody else still jockeying for positions. 38 machine went down. That was Chwalik, I believe, in the background. But we're going to have to see where Matherly on the 25 is after that first turn crash. I don't see the 44 of Shirley either, as Seth Carr leads him on the uphill triple on the first lap. Carr tucks to the inside. Leitzel's going to swing way to the outside. Might turn to the inside coming down the hill, but not quite close enough just yet for the one machine. The Yogi Designs number 1 leading the rest of the field behind Seth Carr up the hill on the first lap here. And then you also have Schaefer in the mix. So our front 3 have broken away a little bit with Gafford now moving into 4th. And we'll see if Carr can maintain this lead all the way through the end of the first lap as he slides it around that corner, really pushing the envelope. And we got an early sandwich right now with Carr, Leitzel, and Schaefer sandwiched, 2 Covenant riders sandwiching the Yogi Design Suzuki. Leitzel's pirouettes and spins it around. He's now in 3rd. So Covenant 1-2 will hit the leap on the first lap. And I'll tell you what, folks, can I get a RedBud? Carr, Schaefer, Leitzel, 1, 2, 3. Gafford in fourth with Stevenson inside the top 5. Paolini, Zimmerman, Garrett. Here's Wallman. That's Walter Gebhardt. Seth Shirley with a good start inside the top 10. Jack Gatlin, McPherson, Harris, Steins, Woods, Ezcurra. Spicer not getting the triple. Niles, Matherly's way back here. Squiddy, Hayden Speck, Jace Williams, Nygren tripling over the top of him. Janice, Horn, Holtze, Fowler tripling up. Colin Allen didn't get it. Tyler Nichols is rolling all 3 of the jumps. Joey Rico just jumped by him. Chris Post out of the Consi also in the mix. So everybody jockeying for those early positions. Matherly is outside of the points by my count after 1 lap. And we are back to our race leader, Seth Carr, taking us through. After 1 lap, he has led the first lap of the race here at RedBud. Now, can he hold off the challenge from his teammate Schaefer? So Shirley was not, I believe, caught up in that first turn pileup. He is in 9th right now. But Matherly, who really had cut the line off going to the first corner, then just got his braking point pretty wrong, it looks like, and went deep. Ended up going down. We'll see where he is officially scored after 1 lap. Looks like 18th, actually. So he is in the points, but just barely. And the march forward for him, and really for Shirley as well, will commence, I believe, at this point, as the battle for the lead is on. Seth Carr under attack. Austin Schaefer ready to do battle on the 338 ride has closed up behind him. And Leitzel just looks like he went down off the track in the off camber. So that is going to cost the one machine even more positions, as our duo out front have really started to open this gap up a little bit. Carr leading us over the big tabletop. Let's see if he'll be able to continue the string of everyone getting the leap here. Really looks like that outside line is plenty enough for these guys to, I mean, even scrub it going up the hill. Schaefer looks like he's going even long right there. Got someone closing up behind these guys. Harrison Gafford really putting in a solid moto early on. WBB ride in the 3 position. He's got Hayden Stevenson right behind him. Oh, bouncing to the roller. Stevenson got kicked sideways and not able to make that pass because of it. Up and over the finish line, jump they go in a battle for 3rd place after 2 laps. Oh, Stevenson kicking around into the corner. Inside line. Oh, on the rear tire, and saved it. But will lose a position perhaps to Seth Shirley. Shirley down the inside. Nearly alongside as Stevenson goes to block the line off. Shirley's going to cut inside and take this far inside rut. Not able to make the pass. Might lose a spot to the 97 of Seth Garrett. Garrett all over the 44 there of Shirley, and Shirley pirouettes and slides out. Does not fall off the machine crucially, but does lose a few positions. Going to fall back to about where he was at the start of this one. So I think he'd already passed a few of these guys at least, and was starting to put the pressure on. Now slips back into the 8th spot just behind Gatlin there on the 57, but ahead of Reese Harris on the 326. And this little group right here is chasing Dominic Paolini, who just almost slid out at the bottom of the hill on the 149 Takatoji ride. Right on the rear fender there of Gatlin, trying to make a move on the 57. Gatlin holding strong and actually might be going after that 149 of Paolini instead. Really thought this inside move could maybe work out as Paolini goes a little bit long on this table. Gatlin got that power down, and it is 3 riders nose to tail heading to the leap. Much all of them doing the same thing. Stevenson was down and picks it up and goes down again. Shirley might get 3 passes done for the price of 1. He is going to get 2 spots. Might also get Gatlin here as well. Gatlin shuts the door and holds it on. Shirley inside, tried to make it happen. Not quite close enough. And this is your battle for 5th on the racetrack right now. cross over the finish line, jump onto lap number 4 here. Oh, mistake for Gatlin, and Shirley takes advantage. He's into 5th. Gafford still 4th. Garrett now up into 3rd as Schaefer still running 2nd behind his teammate Seth Carr. Carr is slowly starting to inch away, though, at the front, and the 2 Covenant Yamahas really are doing a tremendous job of opening up the gap to everybody else behind them. So as it runs, Covenant 1 and 2, Seth Carr, Austin Schaefer at the front of the field here at RedBud. Seth Garrett, another one of the Seths, is in 3rd. Harrison Gafford 4th, and oh, look at that, another Seth. Seth Shirley rounding out our top 5. Oh, rider down was that is Schaefer in the off camber. Loses some time, but does not lose a position to Seth Garrett. Gatlin is 6th. Cash Woods in a strong 7th. Paolini 8th. Reese Harris 9th. And Andonia Ezcurra rounds out the top 10. Hayden Stevenson 11th from Logan Leitzel now into 12th. Evan Steins in 13th. Tucker Zimmerman is 14th with McPherson rounding out our top 15 positions. And there is those red plates of Cade Matherly, the Twizy number 25 Yamaha, running in 16th spot after that first turn crash, trying to make some slicing and dicing happen throughout the field. Doolies. Outside line gets it done on McPherson. So Matherly up to 15th, and the march continues towards the front. Go on board and watch him do some work here a little bit. So 2:08.9 last time by there for Cade Matherly as he found his way into 14th spot just before Laraco's leap. Except for him would be Steins there on the 115 machine. Stevenson and Leitzel have linked up as they train towards Ezcurra. Ezcurra inside line ends up putting Paolini over a berm right there. So no love lost between the Takatoji teammates there of Ezcurra and Paolini. And another crash up ahead. That is the 97 of Seth Garrett just picking it up with Harrison Gafford. Those guys were in 3rd and 4th respectively. They're now slipping outside of the top 10. Shows how close everybody still is on these opening laps. We have just now crested the 10-minute mark of this race. Leitzel now trying to sneak away from his teammate and go after riders ahead of him. 2:06.9 last time by. Certainly feeling the speed. Man. Upper right-hand corner of your screen shows a telltale that not only is our leader gone, our leader's actually down. Seth Carr just went down entering the sand rollers. He was 23 seconds ahead of Shirley. Just picks it up now. Probably come down about 15 seconds ahead. So Schaefer, Gatlin, Cash Woods still in the top 5. There's Andonia Ezcurra off the track. Might lose 2 spots. Yes, he does as he gets on just behind Stevenson. You can see those guys getting kicked out by that big old notch coming into the sand rollers. And these Yogi teammates are really going at it. Stevenson not willing to let his championship winning teammates sneak away from him here. Yo! Brian IB, I believe is how you say it. Brian Ib. $50 donation says, see you at Unadilla. I hope to make it to Unadilla. It's not actually on the schedule for me at the moment, but maybe it is one that I make it out to. But thank you so much for the $50 donation. I greatly appreciate that. And I can't thank you enough for the support. I think it should pop up on the screen any second now. Huh, it did not pop up. I got to fix my alerts. They work on Twitch, but for some reason not working on YouTube. But thank you again, Brian, for the donation. Really appreciate it. Get back to covering the racing action, shall we? So Gatland in third has a bit of a train behind him. Schaefer, Woods, and then Leitzel. If we go on board Leitzel, you can see pretty much that whole group just ahead. Closing up on this battle. Great perspective of what it's like. Sideline, Leitzel. That's a good option right there because you've seen so many guys getting kicked going into those rollers. And Leitzel takes advantage to make that pass stick on Schaefer. Now he's all over Cash Woods going over the finish line jump. And Stevenson is coming with him. Those Suzuki boys are moving. And Leitzel might have the pass made. He's going to go to the outside. Cash Woods relents the position. And Leitzel has gained another spot. I believe he is now fourth. Gatlin just up the road ahead of him in the 3 spot. Matherly update. He is now in 12th. I see you guys in chat talking about Sexton being in this weekend, and it's not 100% confirmed, but we expect that he's back this weekend, by the way. Probably should hear something tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say. So Seth Carr is continuing to lead this race as we come to the halfway point of 250 Moto number 1. Covenant number 13 has led the entire distance thus far after hole-shotting this one, leading the first lap and having to deal with pressure from his teammate for a little bit, but then eventually breaking free from him after some crashing. So Carr is in control, 25-second lead here at the halfway point. And can he continue to maintain it is the question, as we quite literally are going to hit the halfway point as he crosses the line this time by. Right now is 15, and there it is. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes still to go. And in 15 minutes, you could head to racerxonline.com and read all about the articles that Jason Wygant writes, or myself, or Mitch Kendra, or any of us over there. Carr is making it look too easy at the front. Leitzel, for what it's worth, has also done a really good job of charging forward through this group, as Gatlin now has lost a position, and Leitzel is into the 2 spots. So Stevenson also following up suit. He's in 4th. Andonias Kerr rounds out the top 5 with Shirley in 6th, Schaefer 7th, Garrett 8th, Woods 9th, and Tharp rounds out our top 10. Matherly has crawled into 11th place now, with Gafford slipping back to 12th. Oh, Steins is down before the finish line jump. He was 13th, and he will lose 1 position at least, maybe more. Yeah, I'm going to lose a couple more spots. So going by was Sund. Emmett Sund now finds himself in 13th. Sonny Spicer 14th. Dominic Paolini is in the 15th spot. 16th for Steins now. 17th is a Race Cobble. 18th is a battle right now. McPherson has it, but he might lose it up the inside. The 551 of Niles gave it a shot, but Niles settles in for 19th now. And Ben Kaiafa, or Kaifa, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. He's New Zealand, I think, and they say that it's pronounced Kaifa in New Zealand. rounds out our top 20. So those are our point scores as it runs halfway through 250 Moto 1 here at RedBud. Anything going with these battles? It looks like Andonias Cura is thinking about closing up on Jack Gatlin, rider out of France for TSCZ Productions, backed by Takatoji. Closing up on the rider out of Great Britain for Race Cush Racing, the 57 of Jack Gatlin. Oh my gosh, that is just, that bump coming into the sand rollers looks absolutely brutal. You can see all these guys doing basically that same thing. Adley choosing not to hit it. There's Starp with that same kick. And I'll show you right now. We'll just go over there and check it out mid-moto. Why not, as these guys work through that corner right there. A couple guys down over the finish line jump. That is Schaefer down with Seth Garrett on the 97. So they got together. And I do want to go check out this line because you'll see how notchy this has developed out of this corner, and it's still biting, guys. I just saw two more guys get kicked sideways. I think one of them went down. Yeah, he did. But look at this notch coming out of this corner right here. You can see everybody kind of like almost popping off of it a little bit. Doesn't really do it justice. I guess if you're a little bit further back here, you can see how almost straight up and down as you go up it right here, and then it just peaks out. Definitely has gotten notched out pretty good right there in that corner. Seth Carr now deep into some lap traffic. Oh, and Seth Carr is down in the race lead. He had a 23-second advantage, so he will get up and maintain that advantage. But little mistakes like that will come back to haunt you when we get into the dog days of this race. So Seth Carr picks it up still in the lead, but suddenly Logan Leitzel's going to see the gap go from about 23 seconds down to 15. And Leitzel would love a piece of Seth Carr to try to win this race in the final 10 minutes of this moto. This battle for third is still going, and as I say that, Gatlin finally makes a big mistake, tucks the front wheel, and down he goes. So that moves Andonia Ezcura into the 3 spot, I should say. Seth Shirley in 4th, but he's got Hayden Stevenson right behind him on the 84. Stevenson has been ripping in this moto, but a couple untimely crashes have really hurt his case. Oh, and as I say that, there is another one. Gets kicked sideways into the sand rollers and goes down big time. That is Matherly's opportunity for the taking as he goes by, and he is on Jack Gatlin. So Matherly has made it all the way to 6th. 209.6 last time by. 207.6 was his best lap. And it certainly looks like there's a shot he still gets to the podium in this moto. Maybe even more than that, depending on how things go with our leader. But Matherly is pushing and trying to minimize the damage done to him from Seth Shirley. Jumping out of the pocket of that double. He is all over Jack Gatlin for the 5 spot now. Don't forget Stevenson still back there as Matherly comes from off track to slice up the inside, trying to make this pass stick. And he got it. Wow. Really, really good pass there for Cade Matherly as he goes into the top 5 for the first time this moto. Meanwhile, Stevenson wants a piece of Jack Gatlin in the background. Hayden Stevenson has quietly been really good this moto. Right inside line right here. If he gets it. Oh, nearly alongside. Trying to scrub and stay low, but actually almost double whipped. Gatlin stays ahead for the time being. To the leap we go. Who gets it better? Stevenson stayed lower, but he shorted it. So, thought he had enough speed. He did not. Oh, man, that rut almost got him again, though. That rut nearly sent him for a spin, and he stayed on two wheels instead and continues after Jack Gatland. So up ahead of Cade Matherly right now from 5th is Shirley. So that is only 2 points lost in the grand scheme of things right now. Shirley has really not done as well through the field as I would have expected for the lap time that he put down in qualifying, but there's still time. He's trying to reel in Andonia Ezcurra for the 3 spot. Ezcurra not too far off of Leitzel in second, and it looks like they've all lost touch again with Seth Carr, who's opened it back out to a 24-point advantage. So as Ezcurra continues on now in the 3 spot, he is trying to reel in Leitzel, who just went through some lap traffic chaos right there. 38 of Chwalik, who was down really early on in this moto, also going a lap down now as he is alongside of Leitzel. I'm not sure if Leitzel had another crash somewhere or if Carr has just upped the pace that much, because in a span of like 2 laps, that gap went down quite a bit because of a car crash and then ballooned out to higher than it's been, I think, the whole moto. And Carr looks like he's moving, but he's also trying to move through people and almost went down right there on that inside with the lap rider going down. Top 5 pretty spread apart. Then Gatlin 6 just ahead of Stevenson. Tharp, Woods, Garrett, Schaefer. Nothing really close going though right now. Pretty well spread apart. Let's go on board with Seth Carr and see what he's doing around this racetrack to see if we see anything noticeably different, because he's looking pretty comfortable. 208s, 206 the best lap. Honestly, it just looks really smooth. Not like he's blowing my socks off in any specific spot of the track that I've seen so far. Apexing his corners really well, though, for sure, which obviously helps with maintaining speed and momentum. Crucial on these 250Fs. So Seth Carr will come down, check in with a 2:10.8 last time by. He's right on track with his target lap times by the looks of it. And he's got 4 minutes and 2 laps left to get this thing done before 250 Moto 1 victory is all his for the taking. Leitzel would really love to say something different about that before the flag waves. And I feel like we may yet still have a battle between Cade Matherly and Seth Shirley before this race is done. They're getting closer and closer. Matherly lap time check, 2:11.7, 2:14 flat. Shirley, 2:11.7. Ezcura, 2:10.4. Leitzel, 2:10.8. Seth Carr. So kind of in the exact order of the hierarchy right here. Maybe. Yeah, no one else really further back going faster. Stevenson in the 2:08 range, but not anymore. Matherly in the 2:11s. So it seems like we're kind of in a bit of a train where everyone's doing the speeds for the position that they're in, more or less. Like Carr's pulling away from second, which is Leitzel's pulling a little bit away from Ezcura. Ezcura's actually pulling away from Shirley. Shirley hasn't relinquished a lot of time to Matherly. Good little battle right here, though. Gatlin dealing with the pressure from Braden Tharp. Tharp trying to go to the inside at the bottom of the hill and tucks the front end and goes down. He might have actually made the pass if he stayed up, because Gatlin really squared the corner off pretty hard and sliding through. I think that was Wallman, maybe? Can't click on him, so he's a lap down, but it looks like the 3:38 of Walter Gebhardt. So Stevenson will go by Tharp, who just had a double fall off. Always hate that. The rest of the field's pretty spread out as it currently stands. So we are down into the final, just over a minute, plus 2 laps left to go. We see anything change in this top group. I feel like Seth Carr has just about got this moto wrapped up and won. He is more or less starting to do some victory laps. He's got a huge lead. He can afford a few big crashes, and he's pretty much done exactly what you need to do to win a 250 moto in this game. Get out front, avoid those early chaotic crashes. It's the same story for a 450, but it just feels extra when you do it on a 250 because there are more of those crashes in the mid-pack. So if you can get the whole shot and just do like 3 or 4 laps out front, maybe not even leading, but just in the lead pack, and get away from all that stuff going on behind, establish a big gap, the rest of the race is so much easier, because at worst, all you do is you have little crashes here and there and lose a spot. It's so much different when you have to come from the back like we saw Matherly in this moto do, because any little crash costs you many spots, and then you have to pass all those guys back again. For Carr, getting out front and establishing those early leads has afforded him to crash a couple times. As he takes the 2-lap board now, time has officially expired. So Carr is on the move and on his way to a first moto win here at RedBud. Pretty dominating fashion as well. Oh, we got a battle. The championship leaders are set to duke it out for 4th place right now. Matherly has come from so far back, and he is now onto our fastest qualifier, Seth Shirley. This is really actually quite surprising to me. I really thought Shirley, with that lap time from qualifying, was going to be a little bit better than this, as a lap rider gets in the way right there and blocks Matherly's attempt to close the pass down on Shirley, but he does not fall off the bike, and the battle still will continue. But I felt like Shirley had this track a little bit more figured out based on qualifying. Seems like as the track has gotten rougher, he's gotten a little less comfortable with it, and that's starting to hurt him. Oh, bouncing to that outside. Got to be careful there. You always end up with you just getting kicked off the track quite easily. And Shirley right now has kind of no rabbit to chase. He's catching lappers, but Ezcura in the 3 spot has opened up a pretty big gap, and that lap traffic just kind of blocks Shirley a little bit. Matherly is there. Matherly's ready to battle. And it is on for fourth. Shirley landing off the track. Matherly swooping back into the middle. Is this outside versus in? Yes, Shirley will go inside here. Matherly swoops the outside line. Tries to turn it to the inside down here. Doesn't quite work. They both send it flying down to the outside line right here. Ooh, Matherly off the track and back on. Might have the pass made anyway, and he does. Beautiful pass by Cade Matherly into the 4 spot. So can Shirley now respond and maybe lay down one of those laps that he had in qualifying? I feel like the track is too rough for that now. As lap traffic in play, Shirley's thinking inside here at the bottom of the hill. Stood it up a little bit. Might get the pass back. They're going to be side by side. Dualies over the tabletop. Shirley's going to try to shut the door. He crosses over in front of Matherly. Matherly can't get it done. Shirley back in the 4th spot. Off the leap, and Matherly scrubs it way harder. Stays lower. Going to try the second rut right here. Doesn't quite work. That outside looks a little bit better. Great action, though, for our championship leaders. This won't flip the points lead, but this could be 2 points gained for Shirley, knocking it from 7 down to 5. Doesn't want this to balloon into double digits, so this is a pretty critical battle, especially at this midway point coming up in the championship. So the white flag is waving. This is your battle for 4th, but it feels so much more than that. Matherly has worked all moto to get into this position, and he's trying to the outside. Gonna turn to the inside out of this corner. Crosses over. They get together. And Shirley's off the bike. Matherly slides out but does not crash and stays on 2 wheels. So it finally came to blows. And in the regard for Matherly, he's able to keep it upright. Shirley ends up off the bike. And that might be the end of this battle for this moto. They will not catch Andonia Ezcurra in the 3 spot. Ezcurra is actually closer to Leitzel than either of those guys are to him. So it's more going to flip the other way, if at all. But this entire moto comes down to chasing this man around the racetrack. Seth Carr, pole shot, going to lead every single lap. It's going to be a gate to flag victory, and a pretty dominant one, as I said. Going to flick it off the table one more time. He's just got to get through these sand rollers on the final lap. And this win is all his for the taking. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Give it up. The number 13 Covenant Yamaha of Seth Carr is your 250 Moto 1 winner here at RedBud. So Leitzel looks like he'll wrap it up in the 2 spot relatively easy. Ezcurra there. Oh, Shirley got back around Matherly. I don't know what happened. Matherly must have crashed, though, based on that timing difference. So in the end, that entire battle is all for naught. The crash and everything involved with it. As Matherly just tossed it away on his own. Now can Shirley survive to the flag anyway. Shirley made a little mistake right there, but he's trying to hold on. Leitzel has crossed the line in 2nd. Ezcurra is actually just in front of Shirley now. Got a lot closer in the end because I think Ezcurra had a crash, but he will finish up in 3rd. Great ride for Andonia Ezcurra. Seth Shirley ends up in 4th, and Matherly, it all falls apart in the last lap for him. But it is going to be a P5 performance after a first turn crash for Cade. Matherly loses 2 points to Shirley in the championship, but it could have been a lot worse. Gatlin 6th. Aiden Stevenson looks like he'll have 7th as Tharp goes flying off the track, but he's got plenty of time in hand to still get back on. Oh, well, down again. Yeah, still has plenty of time. Schaefer here in 9th, just not getting the leap. Nick Niles is trying to close it down. Will Niles get close enough to Schaefer, or has Schaefer got this? I think Schaefer's got this. Should be A-okay. Whoa, as I say that, he's going to go down before the flag, and Niles is going to get a free spot because of it. 9th for Nick Niles. And Schaefer threw it away at the flag. Race Cobble ends up in 11th. Ben Kafa in 12th. Seth Garrett 13th. 14th for Cash Woods. 15th McPherson. 16th Stein. 17th was Gafford. 18th Emmanuel Cepeda. 19th for Evan Holt. And 20th was Sonny Spicer. Taking a look at penalties. Looks like Garrett got around Kafa for 12th. And the rest stayed the same. Seth Carr, your 250 Moto 1 winner. All right. Well, that was certainly fun. Shall we do it again? I think we shall. But before we get back to the 250s, we got a 450 moto to squeeze in here. 450 Moto 1 coming up. 7 points between championship leader Payson Johnson and Alexis Leclerc. Who's going to get the better of those two? All right. Let's get it going, folks. 450 Moto 1 coming up next. Trying to read the chat as it comes up. A couple people saying some stuff. I saw Nathan Klassen says that he ramped the Kellen jump on MXR's ATV on a dirt bike. Well done. Put up a YouTube video about it. I'll have to check it out. How do you play multiplayer on sleigh grounds on Legends? Asked Grady Anthony. I think there's a dedicated server for it on each platform that you can just load up. I think it's the freestyle server or something like that, a free ride server, and sleigh grounds should be on it. Tanner Bauman says, is Legends worth the purchase? And I mean, I feel like I'm going to get flamed for even talking about it in a sim broadcast. But look, the gist of it is, if you like dirt bikes and you're looking for a game that doesn't require the sweatiness that MX Bikes and MX Sim requires, aka you just want to sit on your couch and eat hot Cheetos and play a game, Legends is a decent option for that. It really is. Like, I'm sorry, it's not the most realistic game, but it's a dirt bike game. It's got real national tracks if you pay for them. And there's ways to make it feel kind of fun and realistic. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure I'm about to get killed. Everyone's just about to come at me with a knife and a pitchfork. But as I've gotten older and I've had less time in my own life, in my own personal life, to dedicate to sim and bikes, which to me are still 1 and 2, or, you know, whichever order you want to put them. I play those more than any other game. I've found value in that I have a daughter that likes watching me play video games, and it's more fun for her to watch me play Legends or the Supercross game because visually it looks better, but also I just get to sit on the couch and play it instead of put a headset on and really try to sweat out a racetrack somewhere. So, yeah, like, it's not the most realistic game. I get it, but console games were never the most realistic games. You go all the way back to Reflex or MXR's ATV Untamed, for example. That's right around the time Sim came out. And even back then, you still had people flaming those games because Sim was the better option. And it's like, those are great games. Like, in hindsight, everyone loves Untamed and Reflex and Unleashed. But back then, people who were playing Sim were like, those games are garbage. Play the simulated games. So there's always going to be people that say, those games are trash, don't ever buy them, quit supporting those companies. Well, if you quit supporting those companies, less gaming companies will ever get involved in Moto because they'll see zero market for it. Offer feedback if you don't like the game, but don't yell at people that do choose to play them. All right. Sorry, I was taking a sip of a drink. I was getting dragged down a little bit coming into tonight. Haven't had some good sleep the last few nights, so apologies. It might have been a little bit bland in the first moto, but we'll ramp it back up. We are ready to shreddy. It is time to go racing 450 Moto number 1 here at RedBud. Let's go! 73 into the first corner, first on that Kawasaki. I saw that fender poke out. Let's see if he actually ended up getting it or not. He did. Brandon Larson rips the Studio 8 whole shot. His teammate on the 9 is Braden Carter right behind him. Leclerc's got a good start on the 7. I did not see those red plates of Johnson out in the lead group going to the first corner. So this is huge for Leclerc in terms of value to try to get out front with his teammates and break away perhaps early on. Still have not seen that flash of the red plates in the background as Carter looks inside, thinks the lead is his, and he has got it. The 9 machine of Braden Carter goes to the front. Larson slips back to second. Leclerc side by side with him going up the hill. Almost whips into him, and Leclerc has to take evasive action, lands hard on the inside, and backs out of the challenge. Larson swinging way outside, holds on to second, but it is still Carter out front leading this race as Johnson is in 26th unofficially through timing and scoring here in the early running. So he must have gone down somewhere, maybe in the first turn. We will see if he can make it through the field similar to the way that Cade Matherly did, but Braden Carter is off and running. He is trying to streak away at the front of this. So it's Carter, Larson, Leclerc, Gustavo Naviga there on the 262 with a great start. TDMX. Love to see some fresh faces in the mix. Pablo Vial's got a great start. Austin Bear. How about a RedBud with Carter whipping it on the jump. Belar's backflipped. You got Leclerc. Everybody jumping on the leap on the first lap. Let's see if anybody else gets big and upside down. Woo! My daughter's coming in. She's getting excited about everyone throwing it naughty on the leap. Gonna sit on me? Okay, come here. Holly, say RedBud. No. Say it. You say it? There it is. Yeah. All right, we're going to watch the first couple laps here. My daughter is fresh out of the bath and ready to watch some motos. She's just pressing buttons on my keyboard, but it is Braden Carter leading after one lap. Leclerc has moved up into second after Belar's, I think, went down backflipping the leap on the first lap. So Belar's was definitely getting a little bit wild. I am. We're watching it. Pablo Vial up into third. That's my keyboard. Whoa, Vial is backwards on the track as Marchini's going to go by. So it's Carter and Leclerc streaking away at the front of the field. The teammates getting away together. We're going to see where Payson Johnson has ended up. What's up, Polly? Motorcycles, yeah. Holly, can you say it really loud? RedBud! Yeah, there it is. She's stoked. She's having a great time watching the motos here tonight. Always a good time watching some MX Simulator racing. So Carter's still throwing some big Oppo whips on the leap. Leclerc is all business, though. He wants those points, and he wants them bad. Let's go find where Payson Johnson is, because he was outside of the top 20 early on. Where is our championship leader? Pretty far back here. Still not seeing those red plates just yet. There he is. Off the inside. Definitely buried in the middle of the pack right here. Ooh, almost went down. Gonna make a pass, though, around JGMX as he hits the leap. He's got the two-stroke of Trevor Burns right behind him. Oh, Johnson down again. Oh, he's going to be way far back now. So Payson Johnson really having a rough go here early in this first 450 moto as he re-enters the track. Very, very close to another rider and does another weird little slide out right there. That was really close with some of the other guys getting back onto the track, but nicely done not to have it go too awry. And now it looks like he is, I think, outside of the top 30. All right, so Johnson is 31st, and he's behind Seabold here after the early mistakes have really cost him. He's got 25 minutes to try to make up a lot of time. And boy, oh boy, does he have a lot of riders ahead of him. This is going to be a really tough road for Johnson to try to make up all this time and get to that lead group in any capacity, especially as Carter and Leclerc have really started to lay it down at the front, 5 seconds clear of everybody else. Fortunately for him, everyone's still pretty close together, so he's making some passes by the bunches at this point in time, but another crash and it's really going to hurt him. Going to pass 2 more guys right there, 4 more guys, so I think he just went into like 22nd. Yeah, 22nd place. Love hearing that two-stroke ripping. And it's a sick-looking two-stroke, by the way. I love this bit of a throwback look. He's got Woody the Woodpecker on the shrouds. Oh, that is such a clean look right there. Like, honestly, I kind of miss... Like, I feel like Hondas just looked shinier back in the day. I don't know what it is about that look, but they just looked like they stood out so much more. Beautiful setup. Well done, Trevor. Fortunately for him, I think Payson Johnson's coming for those cheeks, but let's see if he can hold it off for a little bit longer. Speaking of hold it off a little bit longer, we got to go see what's going on out front because Braden Carter and Alexis Leclerc are ready to battle. Slamming down the hill, Braden Carter all the way to the outside line. Leclerc is just sticking right up behind him, though, trying to stay close. He used to have put on a pretty remarkable pace at the early stages of this one. But credit to Pablo Vial, who is still in the 3 spot behind these guys. He's not actually lost that much ground to them. Carter actually kind of sneaking back away from Leclerc. I thought Leclerc had figured it out finally, and that's why I went up here. I thought he was just about maybe ready to make that pass and go into the lead. But, oh, as I say that, Carter goes down before the leap. And Cooper Hunt, I should say, not Vial, is the one who's up into second now, 2:03.8. And Leclerc what just happened? Leclerc just, like, stopped on the inside of the corner right there out of nowhere. That is really odd. I don't know what's going on right here. It's not a red flag situation according to servers. And Cooper Hunt just went down out of the lead. I don't know what the heck just happened, but that sequence was so weird. Nico Marchini is now in second. Leclerc is leading this race, but I don't know why he just stopped. Now I'm confused what's happening here. I'm interested to see if this is going to be a recurring trend at this point. Or can Leclerc actually kind of pull it away a little bit? Gotta close a window real quick just because the game was lagging a little bit, so I want to make sure we have maximum capacity here. Yeah, I guess a little setup change for Leclerc. Just stopped in the middle of the corner and got it done. You have to be stopped for 2 whole seconds to make a setup change, so I wonder if he just stopped, loaded it up, and changed it. Now he looks like whatever he has changed it to, though, he's quite comfortable with. He's certainly on it. And he's now pulled it out to 3 seconds over Nico Marchini. Then Colby Eagland has kind of quietly snuck into 3rd place just ahead of his teammate Cooper Hunt. Braden Carter's now 5th, Pablo Vial in 6th. Devin Davis with a strong 7th place early on, as we are now 10 minutes into this moto. Castellaneta in 8th. Kyle Boardman is 9th, and T-Lang now rounds out the top 10. So we're trying to keep an eye on Payson Johnson's progress, but another face to keep an eye on is Tyler Lang, who is really pretty solid at High Point. Got his feet back underneath of him a little bit in terms of raw speed. And now started outside of the top 10, is just going to go around Castellaneta to get into 9th right there. Might have another pass made right here as he's right up alongside Boardman. Boardman went way long on the leap. Has to swing outside, loses a spot to Castellaneta and Ethan Parks. Ethan Parks also slotting by. All right, settle down here and figure this all out, as Leclerc just put a really solid 2:05.3 down that last time by. He has stretched this lead back out to 5.5 seconds, and the battle for second might be on soon as Colby Eagland is closing up on Nico Marchini. It just, man, it feels like these 450 guys are just going so much faster around this track for some reason. It's not actually that much faster. These guys are in the 204s. We saw a 203 out of Johnson already, I think, but you know, the 250 guys are doing 206s. It just looks so different in some of these sections, the way that the 450s can hit these ruts and charge into these corners. Like, that section looks even, if not maybe slower for the 450s, which is why maybe it evens out. But golly, coming into the off-camber, the speed that Eagland was carrying was unbelievable. And now he has got his sights firmly set on Nico Marchini in the 2 spot, whereas Cooper Hunt is trying to come with him. So here we go. Battle for second is about to commence. Marchini over the line onto lap 7 has Eagland right behind him. Is that Leclerc down? I hear a bike. I hear a bike. It is Leclerc. Leclerc has gone down after the finish line jump on lap 7 and goes from the lead back to 4th. Hunt up into 3rd. Eagland to 2nd. Nico Marchini is leading at RedBud. The race cush number 74 ride is out front trying to hold off this charge from Eagland. And let's see how long he can do it. He's not officially led a lap just yet, but he is leading, and that is sometimes all that counts. This is a cool moment for him. Eagland is going to make him work for it this lap, though. Switching lines at the top of the hill. Cooper Hunt thinking inside, trying to pass his teammate. Doesn't get close enough, but certainly searching for those options now as the track gets a little bit nastier in each of those main lines. And this is a frantic battle for the lead right now. Marchini is trying to keep Eaglin behind him. Eaglin's trying to keep Cooper Hunt behind him. And this 3 riders basically nose to tail. And it's not that far back to Leclerc now in 4th. Our top 6 or so riders are still pretty much nose to tail. Cooper Hunt has a leg up there on Colby Eaglin for a second. Now Marchini blocks out of the corner, and here comes Eaglin thinking inside up to the tabletop. Oh, Triley's big dualies out of Eaglin and Hunt. Up to the leap we go. 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack are nearly nose to tail. More Triley's off the leap. Inside for Eaglin, front end tuck. Cooper Hunt pulls up alongside. Dualies off the table. And wow, Eaglin really chopped the line off hard to keep his teammate behind him. But it is going to be Marchini coming down to the flag this time by. He is going to lead a lap at RedBud. Nico Marchini, look at him go, folks. Marchini, Eaglin, Hunt, Leclerc side by side with Vial, and then Carter. This is your front 6 in an absolute dogfight freight train right now. Going at it. What a fun battle we are seeing at the halfway point of this race. And the front 2 have kind of broken away just a little bit right now. So Cooper Hunt lost touch with Eaglin. And you got 2 riders and then kind of like a 4-pack behind them of that little hop line into the corner. I feel like Marchini's doing so good out front, but I feel like they're all going a little bit faster behind him, which is why we have this freight train. But I'm loving it, man. This is some good action. You don't get battles like this for the lead often, as Marchini leaves the door wide open again, but he's got this line working pretty good to the outside. Kind of hops a little bit awkwardly, but Eaglin can't get close enough to make the pass. So once again, this funnels to this same line to the outside. Marchini gets really sideways, but maintains the lead. And these 6 riders are still nose to tail, folks. I don't know what to tell you. They're going to all go off this jump nearly at the same time. Almost all of them in the air together. Looks like we may have lost Carter off the back of this group as Leclerc thinks outside, trying to get by Eaglin, who went off the track. Inside line at the top of the hill. Will it work for the 7? Hunt trying to go to the race lead at the bottom of the hill. Might have it done, and he does. Cooper Hunt goes from 3rd to the lead in the matter of seconds. Dualies off the tabletop. Marchini tries to fight back, but Cooper Hunt has taken the lead at RedBud. Oh, off the track Marchini goes. So now it's Hunt from Eaglin, Vial. And then Marchini gets going. Leclerc went down, as did Carter. So they are 5 and 6 now. And then Castellaneta pretty far back here. Lang, Davis, and Boardman inside of the top 10. But finally, settle it down for just a second. Cooper Hunt has gone to the lead. He's going to lead his first lap of the Moto up and over that finish line jump. We're having one of the best races we've had all year long, and for the moment, it's not actually featuring any of our championship players. Cooper Hunt and Eaglin are both kind of on the fringe of this championship fight, but obviously coming into it, it was all about Leclerc versus Johnson. Leclerc is up here, but not in this fight at the moment, and Johnson's still outside of the points trying to fight forward, so championship implications are huge at the moment. But this battle is just too good to break away from. How about Pablo Vial? He has got the bike a-flowing. He did a 2:08.6 last time by. He's 2 seconds off of Eaglin, just ahead of him. He made a couple passes in the process, so he is certainly on the move right now, trying to make some stuff happen. Oh, rear end kick coming out of that corner. Oh, that's really going to cost him. Slides out. Not going to be a position loss, though. As Marchini now dealing with Leclerc. Putting the pressure on behind him. Will Leclerc get a spot here? Marchini scrubs hard to keep Leclerc behind him. Look at how rough this track has gotten, though. These 450s certainly chewing it up. And Leclerc goes by. Leclerc into 4th. Vial, Eaglin, and Hunt So it was pretty frantic there for a few laps, and it's finally separated at least into some semblance of normalcy that we normally see in these types of races. Cooper Hunt's going to lead another lap. So Marchini, I think, did actually get 2 laps led in. Now Hunt's got 2 laps led, and Leclerc obviously led a handful. Carter led laps. We got 4 different lap leaders so far. We've only done 10 laps of this race. And Leclerc is back on the charge once again. They've completely dropped Carter. Carter was in this group. He's now 32 seconds off. So he's had a really rough go these last few laps. But for Leclerc, it's such a weird scenario to be in because you want to go forward. You want to try to make some passes and maybe win this moto. You're also probably having somebody tell you that Payson Johnson is well down the order. I don't think he's even in the points yet. Or he is now. He's 19th. But obviously, this is going to be a huge points haul moto for Leclerc. Going to get Vial, who is down with a lapper here pretty soon, it looks like. All right, bouncing down the hill. Vial and Leclerc both have to ride over a downed lapped rider. Didn't see who that was. But clearly having to take a little bit of evasive maneuver. Let's go on board Leclerc. Hopefully it doesn't lag us too much. 2:04.9 last time by. Oh, Vial, mistake on the inside line right there. And Leclerc takes full advantage of it to go into 3rd place. Meanwhile, change for the lead, unbeknownst to me, has occurred. Colby Eagland has taken it over from Cooper Hunt. So Cooper Hunt led 2 laps. Now it's Eagland's turn to lead. Eagland has not led a lap just yet. But he's about to be our 5th different lap leader of this moto. Carter, Leclerc, Marchini, Hunt, and now Eagland coming into the fray and about to lead his first lap of the moto. We still have about 9 minutes and 2 laps left to go in this race. Up to the finish line jump, and Eagland checks in out front onto lap 11. So Hunt, I don't know if he went down or if he just made a big mistake somewhere, but has clearly lost the lead, but not lost that much time in the grand scheme of things. And Leclerc crosses at a 2:10 flat last time by, so he must have made a late mistake or something like that because that was not the pace he was setting. 13.9 for Hunt could show that he maybe actually had a fall off based on that time. Eagland goes 2:08.2 as he takes over the race lead. Man, bouncing into that corner, always so dangerous when your wheels aren't on the ground and you're starting to slide into a corner like that, because pretty much at any point in time you could just get kicked a little bit wrong and go down. But Eagland kept it upright. Lapper forces him off. Terrible job by that lapped rider picking it up, and now Eagland does go down heavily at the bottom of the hill and takes Cooper Hunt with him. Leclerc is going to slice in any second here now. Actually does not get there. There he is. Now Leclerc's there, and we got a 3-rider battle for the lead. Cooper Hunt has taken it back over. Eagland led only 1 lap so far, and suddenly we have a 3-rider battle at the front. Leclerc just made a mistake. I think he was off track momentarily. Now it's a bit of a 2-rider battle between Hunt and Eagland. Leclerc about 2 seconds off of them. Hunt just made a mistake. Eagland is right there trying to find his way through as they go through this inside line together. Up to the leap, and Cooper Hunt leads us over on lap 11. This race feels like it's changed every single lap, and we have yet another curveball. I think Hunt is about to be the first rider this moto to lead on different sequences of laps. Seems like a rider would take over the lead and lead for a couple laps and then hand it over, but Hunt led a couple laps, now finally gets it back. He's going to lead this lap, and Leclerc is all over Eagland right now for the 2 spot. So can the 7 find the way around the 24? He does, as Eagland pushes out of that inside rut and Leclerc takes full advantage. And then Leclerc follows a lapper into the first turn, and Eaglin swoops around the outside to get right back by. So lap traffic playing a little bit of a factor in this race right now. And Leclerc, just as quickly as he made that pass on Eaglin, has lost the touch of him just a little bit, and Eaglin is on the charge to go back after his teammate ahead of him. The race lead. Leclerc just went off the track in the background. Some lap rider, that is JGMX, launching out. I thought he was going to land on Hunt. Eaglin absolutely rips that outside line, trying to close that gap down onto his teammate, Cooper Hunt, in the race lead. Oh, a little swap coming up the hill. Blow through that inside line together at the top. Oh, rear end kick out again. Half second in it, Leclerc has dropped to 4 seconds off the lead with a few mistakes. Pablo Vial is still right there. Lang is all the way up to 5th. Carter has slipped to 7th. Rough go for the 9 after leading this race early on. Cooper Hunt is kind of sneaking away just ever so slightly. Johnson's all the way up to 12th. But I still think after this moto, we will see unofficially the red plate change hands to Leclerc based on the trends of this one. I don't know. Johnson can always pull some crazy stuff out of his hat late in the motos and make some unbelievable late charges and passes. Maybe he's got another one in him here tonight. You can see Eaglin and Hunt both going to that far inside into the rollers. They kind of almost looks like they all learned the lesson from the 250 class that outside jump option into the rollers gets too notched out and it's too inconsistent to use it every single lap, and they've all decided, we'll lose a little bit of speed on quarter entry and choose that inside line so we can always be safe on exit. As now, Eaglin just kind of blew the first turn right there, and Leclerc was pretty close to them not that long ago, but now falls back off of them again and has Pablo Vial right behind him. So Vial on the Impact 27 suddenly has fellow Frenchman Alexis Leclerc in his crosshairs here. Oh, and as I say that, he has a big off. Hard into that rut and a instant fall-off crash. Lang not going to be close enough to get to him. But if you're Leclerc, like, this is a ripe opportunity for the picking. And he keeps making these small mistakes that have really hurt him in his charge after Hunt and Eaglin ahead of him for the lead. So while we have a momentary break in these guys being close together, let's go back and take a look at some of these guys inside of the top 10. Castellaneta, Marchini, Trevor Burns absolutely shredding this 252 stroke for district. Ripping this thing. Love to see it. Kyle Boardman, still inside of the top 10. I believe he is 10th. Yes, he is. And there is our championship leader, Payson Johnson, trying to knock into the top 10 now as he almost goes down on corner entry right there. I mean, Johnson's flying, no question about it. Too little too late, though, when it comes to positioning. I feel like he's going to lose quite a bit of points this moto. Launching that double out. Marchini's down in the off camber. That's going to be a potential another pass, though, for Johnson if he can get up to them. And this pass right here on Boardman will get him 10th, and that is done and dusted. So now he is about 9 seconds off of Marchini, who is 9th, which is certainly doable for Johnson. Question is, how far does he get? He could get Burnsy for 8th on the two-stroke. If Castellaneta has a crash or two, he might get to him, but I don't think he's getting to Carter, who is currently in 6th. So 7th might be the ceiling for Johnson. In that case, it might end up still being maybe a tie atop the top of the table. Leclerc is still on it, though, and he has caught Colby Eaglin once again for 2nd. Eaglin crossroads. Actually, they're both kind of catching Cooper Hunt again. So 1, 2, 3, basically all in the air off of this jump together. And Leclerc tucks inside. Line doesn't work, I think, as well as he had hoped. And Eagland instead has his eyes solely focused on his teammate. He just absolutely destroyed that rut at the bottom of the off camber. And he is going after Cooper Hunt ahead of him. Leclerc using that outside option still. Everyone has kind of started going inside there, but it might get too blown out late in the race to be a viable option. So Leclerc is searching around, and I think we are just barely going to beat the clock back around. 30 seconds left at this point in time. I think they're going to get back to the flag before time expires. It's going to be close. Might not be as close as I think, though. I think it might end up being about 5 seconds on the clock when we cross. So Hunt coming down the rollers. We're at 15 seconds till the time expires. Now down to 10 seconds till time expires. And indeed, we will get an extra lap. So they crossed the line before time expired on the clock. And now time has expired. There are 3 laps to go here at RedBud. Cooper Hunt is looking for the moto win. But as I say that, he blows the first turn. And his teammate Eagland takes full advantage to go back by. Wow, and Leclerc has just gone down as well. He was right on Eagland. He is now 11 seconds back, but this battle for the lead is not over yet. Cooper Hunt smells the inside line, doesn't get close enough to make the pass happen. Oh man, look at those ruts. They are eating these guys up. Hunt a little bit shorter on the double, might get that power down earlier. They both scrub up this triple to the top of the hill. Inside for Hunt, outside for Eagland. I think that outside is becoming the preferred option, though, because you can just carry that momentum, whereas the inside's getting dug out pretty deep. But Hunt kept it close. Eagland's so good in the off camber, and then he goes down, and Hunt is stood on him. He's going to try to cut to the inside and go through as he continues. But Eagland down again, coughs up the lead to his teammate. Meanwhile, Vial has gotten around Leclerc. He is into third, and Leclerc slips back to fourth. This track is eating these guys up. Lang fifth, Carter sixth, Castellaneta just went down out of seventh, and Burns just got past. Johnson is now into seventh. That is going to provisionally help him hold the championship lead. Time now expired, though, and we'll see if he can get to Braden Carter for sixth. It might be possible. There's no chance he gets to Lang, though, so 6 would be for sure the ceiling. I said that before, though, and then it was dead wrong because it looks like he's going to get to Carter, especially with Carter getting stuck on the hill right here. Lot of lap traffic coming into play late in this one. Just seems like this track is really biting a lot of guys, and so they're down in the main lines a lot. More guys down. And Cooper Hunt's done a pretty good job of avoiding it all. That's always been his killer instinct, though, on a 250, and now he's carried it onto a 450, is that consistency and good race awareness as well, I feel like, out of Cooper Hunt, seeing what lays ahead on the track. Nice, hopping into that rut. That one looked more in control than some of the other ones I've seen earlier in this race. And now Hunt has got about a lap and a half left to navigate this track before this win could be his. 13.8 second lead. Leclerc is going to be back on Eagland for second before long. He got back around Vial. And man, Leclerc could really use the help and services of his teammate Carter here to keep Mason Johnson behind. So what's going to happen first? Does Leclerc get to Eagland in a battle for second, or does Johnson get to Carter? I feel like I know the answer to that. So, oh, actually, Eagland just went down, and Vial is going to take over third. So Leclerc up to second, Vial third, Eagland now fourth. There's Lang right on these guys in fifth. He has caught them from so far back. But there he is, and then here is... Oh, and Johnson just went down just as we were about to get to him. Marchini's going to go back by... who else went through? No, that was it. Marchini's the only one. So So he slips back to 8th. Almost lands on Marchini off that double. Making some alternate lines through here. Lap traffic in the way. Marchini goes nose high, and Johnson's going to pass him back. Castellaneta's right there on the 12 as well. It just feels like these lappers, man, they're ending up in the bad spot every time. I don't know if it's just the way the track is flowing right now or what, but golly, the lappers have not been doing any favors to our leaders in this race. And again, I don't know who this is. Not getting out of the way, blocking Castellaneta. But Johnson, head back down, going to try to close up on Carter, but that might be a lost cause at this point. Meanwhile, Eaglin has slipped from the chance at winning this race to maybe finishing 5th, as T-Lang is all over him right now for a spot in the top 4 of this moto. Charge down past the mechanics area. Lang just giving him all the business he can handle. Both hop into that rut. Lang noses it in a little bit. Now off the top of the hill. Still nose to tail. Trying to keep an eye on if I see anybody else go down. There's Leclerc going the other way. And then Vial not too far behind him. Eaglin misses this main rut and then hits a tough block. Lang lands on the gas earlier and is going to get by him. So Lang all the way up into 4th now. And a late crash out of Vial or Leclerc could be a podium for him. But here comes Eaglin around the outside, and Lang slides out trying to hold it. Eaglin back into the 4 spot. Just like that. Here is Pablo Vial. And then Alexis Leclerc just ahead of him. Leclerc has Bilar's getting loose and saucy right in front of him, but Leclerc's going to scoot on by him. And here is our leader with just a few corners to go. What a weird race this was. So many ups and downs, and somehow after 5 different riders led a lap, it's going to come down to Cooper Hunt, who put it all together in the final 10 minutes of the moto, really excelled when the track got its gnarliest. And it is going to pay dividends in the form of a moto victory for the 18 machine. And I'm sure this is going to be a pretty happy one for him as well. As he brings it through the rollers one more time, here it is, folks. Cooper Hunt takes 450 Moto 1 at RedBud. Leclerc trying to keep it in for 2nd ahead of Vial. Still Bilar's right behind him, but as we come to the flag, whoa, Leclerc a little nose high. Will pick up 2nd place. Vial gets 3rd. Eaglin survives. He'll get 4th in this one. Lang 5th. And here's Carter in 6th. Johnson is trying. He got pretty close, but I think it's going to be too little too late. Carter charging up behind Simos. See if Simos moves out of the way or if Carter's going to take an alternate line. It's up in the main line. Johnson on the gas on landing off the leap. He's going for it. I don't think he's going to be close enough, though. Could always help with cuts, but I think this one is too far gone. I think Carter has got this thing sewed up in 6th spot right now, so it's going to be Braden Carter bringing it home. He will finish up in the 6th spot. Johnson comes from an abysmal first half of this race and charges tremendously well to get 7th. Decent salvage ride. Castellaneta will end up in 8th, Marchini 9th, Trevor Burns looks like he'll have 10th to himself. Kyle Boardman 11th, Ethan Parks 12th, Seabolt right behind him in 13th, Blakely in 14th, Connor Holiak in 15th. I don't think I saw him once this moto, and then Devin Davis will end up in 16th in this one, as he was the last rider on the lead lap, but he did not finish this one. Austin Bear 17th, 18th for Zaka, 19th Larson, and 20th was Dre Smith. That is our Moto 1 in a nutshell. We'll wait for cuts to come in, but it looks like Cooper Hunt has got this thing under wraps. No problem. 13.6 second lead. Pretty unlikely it'll get passed. I'll wait for those cuts to see it, and then I need to go pee real quick, so I will running to the restroom real fast. There we go. Almost. One rider still got to cross the line. Waiting for him. There we go. Looks like literally no position changes. So there you go. Cooper Hunt wins 450 Moto 1. We'll be right back for 250 Moto 2. All right, we are back and ready to roll into 250 Moto number 2 coming up next. Man, we have had some fun motos here tonight. That 450 Moto was bonkers. Really interesting sequence of events, especially in the early stages of that one. And Cooper Hunt eventually goes on to take the race victory. So what are we in store for as we roll into 250 Moto number 2? Sure, there's going to be quite a bit more fun to be had. As a reminder, though, Seth Carr did win our first 250 Moto ahead of Logan Leitzel and Doni Ezcurra, Seth Shirley, and Cade Matherly inside of the top 5. So Shirley pulls from 7 back of Matherly to just 5 back as we roll into Moto 2. Gained a little bit of points right there. All right. So there is Seth Carr, our first Moto winner, trying to repeat as we roll into Moto 2 now. A little look through the field here. Leitzel with a gear change. Canvas stuff again, but a little bit different looking this time. Setups are pretty cool this week. I like a lot of the American themed stuff we got going on. I always dig it. All right. Let us find out who is going to win the overall here. Here we go. They are lined up, folks. They are revving up and ready to go. Matherly 4 from the inside on the 25. Trying to see where Shirley is. I don't see him. He might... Oh, he's way down the inside. Here we go. 250 Moto 2 is off and running. Looks like a middle shot for a Honda rider. Trying to see who gets to the corner first. It was that Honda rider, Seth Garrett. But Wallman, a.k.a. Walter Gebhardt, rips this dude a whole shot. He's out front here in 250 Moto 2. Seth Carr with another great start is in second. Seth Garrett in third. Huge pileup going into the second corner. Separates most of the field. But it's Wallman from Seth Carr coming down the hill. Seth Carr is trying to go 1-1 here today at RedBud, and he has put himself in a tremendous position to try to do so. Gebhardt, not a great first moto, ended up 32nd. So this is all just for bragging rights to try to go out and lead this thing for a little bit. But Carr was so strong in the first moto. Let's see if he's able to use this outside line to make the pass to the lead. Little hiccup there for Gebhardt. Carr down the inside, thinking about it. Backing out of the challenge, though. Instead, going for this middle rut. Might lose second because of it. Seth Garrett jumps on his back and goes down. Few riders having to take evasive action coming out of this corner. One rider does not avoid him. Now we got a pile up as Garrett picks it up sideways in the middle of the track and causes even more chaos. Matherly is in this group. Matherly went by. He's right behind Tharp, and he's alongside Nick Niles as he cuts through the middle of those guys. So the question really is, where is Shirley in all of this chaos as well? He is not in front of Matherly, so Matherly is 10th. And Shirley is further back than that. Andonia Escura, who is third in the first moto, is 11th. Shirley is 13th. Oh, Gebhardt, RedBud! He is upside down on the leap and pulls it back. Beautiful right there out of the 338. As Seth Carr just had to sit there and watch that majestic upside down scrub. But here he comes. Carr's going to try to pull up alongside Gebhardt through the rollers. Not quite close enough just yet, so Gebhardt leads lap number 1. Carr dualies over the finish line jump in second, right on him. And we'll see if Gebhardt can keep it on for another lap, or will Seth Carr find a way through this time by? It's so impressive being able to throw a whip that big in a race. Oh, Carr backwards and down, sliding out on the face of that double and ends up off the machine. Let's see how many spots he loses. 2 spots, maybe a third to Seth Garrett. No, Sonny Spicer on the 95 going by. And then also Emmanuel Cepeda is going to pull up almost alongside of him, actually hits Carr, and Carr's down again. He's in a precarious spot right there. Got to be careful rejoining. Cepeda was off the bike. This is Shirley. Shirley's off the bike. Front end tuck on corner entry, and down he goes. He gets hit from Holtze. Backs up and then gets hit again. No one has spotters helping. There's no flaggers that will get on the track and help these guys in the game, so that's really just down to some poor team spotting for a lot of those guys. And now Shirley, who was in a pretty good spot early on with Matherly, has a double fall-off crash, and I think is now outside of the points. So all that stuff he gained back in the first moto out the door as Matherly is... Oh, Matherly gets tossed off the track. Brandon Nygren lights him up, and Matherly is down hard. He is going to slowly get rolling up the hill with Schaefer in the mix as well. Wow. I don't think that was fully intentional because he crossed over so many lines, did Nygren, but my goodness, he got lit up. Now he's trying to deal with all of this basically traffic, I should say, not lap traffic, but traffic. And he was in some pretty clean air. Now he is in 23rd place. This is what it's looked like early on to try to deal with that. So where is Shirley? I think Shirley lost more spots, or is he ahead of him again? No, he's ahead of him, so I missed it entirely. Shirley going by. Where is he? Oh, he's up here. He's in 18th, so Shirley ends up back ahead of Matherly. Oh, okay. We'll get back to that in a minute. I want to figure out what's going on out front because Gebhardt has gone down from the lead, and our new leader coming through now is Austin Partolo. The AVM 110 machine is out front. Off to the races he goes. Wow, Walter Gebhardt absolutely threw this one away. And Partolo is leading, much to the pleasure of the MX Bikes community in the chat room right now. They are loving every second of this. So we'll give Partolo his due as he leads the field around here at RedBud, leading an MX Simulator Professional National. And looking pretty solid too. Comfortable, has a nice lead. No pressure from behind. Nearest competitor is right here, Jace Williams. We got a battle for second going on. Andoni Ezcurra is up here. He's alongside Jeremy Schiabro. Seth Carr has made his way back into the mix as well. Ezcurra thinking inside of Schiabro, doesn't go for it though. And now Seth Carr is trying to pull up alongside Ezcurra as Schiabro gets upside down. Here's Carr down the inside. Not really going to make that line work, so Ezcurra able to stay ahead. Dualies, Trileys. Oh, look at that Carr inside move. Staying lower as Ezcurra's right alongside of him, though, and kind of forces him to back out. As Partolo leads the lap, and Schiabro is all over Jace Williams. 4 riders in the air at the same time in a battle for second place over the finish line jump. Ezcurra gets by Schiabro into third place. Outside move for Carr is also going to make it around Schiabro into fourth, or will he? Schiabro trying to fight back around the outside. Carr has not made the pass stick just yet. And he just now gets it done. That was close. Back and forth with those guys. So Schiabro slides back to fifth. Carr up to fourth as Ezcurra is now third. And they're still right behind Jace Williams as Partolo leads this race. Williams scrubbing across the track in front of Ezcurra. Carr getting the power down, trying to pull up alongside Ezcurra to the top of the hill. Ezcurra shoots down the inside, blocks the inside line, trying to make a pass. Meanwhile, Carr says, forget about that, I'm passing him anyway. Ezcurra flies down the outside as Williams goes down, and Ezcurra makes the pass stick for second to get back around Carr, who had passed him down the inside coming into the next corner. So this is now 2-3 on the track. They are 5 seconds behind this man, though, Austin Partolo, who led his first ever lap just a moment ago and is trying to make it 2 in a row. It's definitely looking a little timid at the bottom of the hill, but that's okay. It's always tough when you lead these first laps ever. Unfamiliar territory, even if it's something that you're comfortable with in a different game, it just feels so different. Finally break through and have the lead of this race and clean air behind you. So as Ezcurra is charging, he is trying to get to Partolo now. Partolo into the rollers now. And you can see, oh, Ezcurra is lagging and he's down. Oh, that's going to help Partolo extend this out a little bit more as he leads another lap, and Schiabro has gone to second. What in the world is going on in this moto? We got 2 triple-digit guys out front. Make that 3. But Walter Gebhardt hardly called him a triple-digit guy as a former series champion and then lost that career number. But Partolo leads from Schiabro, 6 seconds in hand. Here comes Gebhardt. And then our defending champ, Logan Leitzel's now into fourth. Seth Carr slips back to fifth. Williams is 6th, but I think Ezcurra is between these guys, lagging out a little bit. I'm trying to find him where he lagged out at. So yeah, there is Ezcurra. He is listed as 28th because he's lagging really, really badly, but he is right behind Carr, so he's unofficially 6th, I believe. Let's find out where our championship guys are. Bunch of stuff going on right there. Matherly is up to 15th as Shirley is now 9th. And it looks like Ezcurra is back, or maybe not back just yet. Carr is all over Leitzel now for this 4 spot. Or is it actually, excuse me, the 3 spot now? Yeah, so it's Partolo still leading, Schiabro, and then Leitzel up into 3rd with Carr right there, because Ezcurra obviously went down, and we still haven't seen him come back just yet. So let's get some lap time checks this time by. 2:10.1, Austin Partolo just putting in consistent times at the front. Has a little over 4.5 second lead as we come to complete lap number 5. And Partolo goes 2:11.3. Schiabro 2:11.7 last time by behind him. Now goes 2:09.8, so gained about 2 seconds that lap. Seth Carr goes 2:07.7 and a 2:06.5 for Leitzel before. So those guys are gaining roughly about 3 to 4 seconds a lap on Partolo right now. But they're crashing, which is obviously helping Partolo's case to sneak away at the front of this thing. But if they stay on 2 wheels, it does look like they maybe have that pace in hand to catch up to him. First, what's going to happen, though, is Seth Carr is going to try to catch Jeremy Schiabro for the 2 spot. And all the credit to Partolo for not faltering in this position. He's just doing what feels comfortable to him. Those lap times are comfortable for him, so just keep doing it. It's got you to this point. No need to change up the program now that you're in the lead. And Carr is absolutely flying. He has caught Schiabro pretty quickly here. He's also lost Leitzel in the process, and he's going to get around Schiabro as Schiabro is off the track. So Carr now up into 2nd. And next up for him would be to try to catch up to Austin Partolo for the race lead. So here's Leitzel now in 4th. And Cash Woods battling with Seth Shirley for a top 5 spot. So Shirley has made some pretty solid progress after that early crash. Now get into the 5th position, or the 6th position, I should say, battling for 5th. This is what it's going to look like here for Shirley to stay on the gas around the outside and hit the leap. Ooh, slide out right there for Cash Woods, and Shirley's going to go to 5th and scrubs the leap to boot. Comfortably clearing it over. It's up to the top 5. Cash Woods there 6th, Williams 7th, Emmanuel Cepeda in 8th, Ben Kaifa is 9th, Nathan McLaughlin is in 10th, and Andonia Ezcurra now 11th, Luke Fauser is in 12th. Race Cobble 13th, Austin Schaefer 14th, Stevenson just got passed by Cade Matherly. There is Matherly now up into 15th spot. So while Shirley is now in the top 5, Matherly is still in just traffic heaven back here. There are so many guys mixed together. Reads that really well to cross over and get another position. Whoa. Matherly doing what he can to try to click through this group. But they're all still chasing Austin Partolo, man. This is incredible riding right here. Feels a little Ty Masterpool-ish when he came out of, not really came out of nowhere, but just came back from injury on a Star Yamaha and pole shot at RedBud and led for a while. Similar vibes. So Partolo didn't hole shot. He got into this position. That gap is starting to come down. Seth Carr now has it at about 4 seconds as Leitzel has moved into 3rd. Shirley now 4th. Schiabro 5th. Williams, Cash Woods, Ben Kaifa, Manuel Cepeda, and as Andonia Ezcurra still mixed in there in 9th. So here's Carr coming up behind him. 3.3 seconds, 2:08 flat versus a 2:10.9 last time by. So all things considered, another lap through, and I think Carr will be on him without any crashes or weird things going on. But all the credit in the world to Partillo for just doing the damn thing right now out front. Not phased to be in this pressure of a situation. So this time by, he will go to a 2:10.7 as Carr goes 2:05.9. Seth Carr, I believe, just reset fastest lap of the race right there with that time. He is flying. He wants a piece of our race leader, Austin Partillo, and I feel like he is about to take a bite out of the cake and take over the race lead here before long. Less than a second in it. We are past the halfway mark of this race. And Seth Carr is looking to go 1-1 here today at RedBud. The middle of the track here, Carr gets that exit a little bit better. Partillo on the gas up the hill, though. Let's see what happens at the top here. Carr's been using the outside to make passes, but he's going to have to go inside here because Partillo uses the outside right here. Riding high on the berm. Carr's not close enough, and Partillo keeps the lead. I feel like Partillo's sending a little bit harder now that Carr's got to him. He wants to keep this lead. And he actually stretched it back out a little bit right there. He got that off camber really, really good. Now Carr has to kind of go back to the drawing board and figure out where he can gain some time. Oh, Carr really good through that corner right there. He's going to pull up even onto the table. Dualies for the lead. Partillo lands early and keeps the power on to maintain the position. But Seth Carr, oh, Carr down. Rear end slips through that berm, and down goes the 13 machine. So Logan Leitzel moves up in a second, and now it's his turn to try to close this gap down on Partillo. 2:08.2 last time by. And it doesn't matter what they're throwing at him right now. Austin Partillo is just going to do his laps. I think this might actually be his best lap, though. I'm curious to see the time right here because he's certainly up the pace, I feel like, in the middle of that lap. Now 2:10.6, so actually basically the exact same lap time again. Leitzel this time goes 2:07.4. It's about 3 seconds a lap faster. Partillo hopping through those ruts a little bit. Now we're getting into the latter stages of this one where you're starting to feel that this is maybe possible if Carr and Leitzel keep throwing this thing away. Partillo is just doing everything he should be doing in this situation for the first time being here. Not straying away from doing those consistent laps. It's so easy when you get in a spot like this where you could win the moto to start overthinking it, to start overriding the track, thinking you need to do some magical lap time to stay there. He's doing just fine and withstanding this pressure well. Cases the uphill triple, though. Logan Leitzel now has got his sights set on Austin Partillo for the race lead. Trying to keep an eye on where Matherly has made it to. I don't think he might be in the top 10 now. As Shirley is now, I think, at the back of this lead group. So he might have a chance to still try to make it forward. Oh, excuse me. Matherly's 19th. Matherly way down the order as Partillo almost loses it. Front end tuck coming up the hill. Actually, this is Seth Shirley now second. Leitzel went down. So Leitzel and Carr both have blown their chances at getting to Partillo. And now Seth Shirley says, well, somebody's got to do it. I'll try. So the man who is, at the moment, going to retake the championship lead as it stands would like to also add another race victory to his mantle. And it could even be for the overall win, depending on where Leitzel ends up in this moto. But Partillo's just holding on. Just about to make it to the 20-minute mark, still in the lead of this thing. I think he took the lead, what, on lap 3? Now Shirley's down in the background. My goodness, these guys are throwing. So Shirley goes down from second back to fourth, and Partillo leads another lap. At this point, he's done himself enough of a favor that he is almost certainly going to finish inside of the top 4 of this moto if he keeps riding the way that he is. It doesn't matter if these guys outright pass him at this point. He's got such a big gap back to 5th place. It's almost certainly going to be a career best, so you've done the job, son. But, oh man, if he could win this thing, that would be incredible. Like he's figured that jump out a little bit better now, and here comes Seth Carr again. So ding, 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 round 2 is on for Seth Carr to try to close up on Partillo for the lead as Partillo has that rear end step out coming down the hill. Yeah, it looks like he's riding just that little bit more timid now as the track breaks down even more. And Seth Carr will once again close up on the 110 machine, trying to take the lead away. But last time Carr got to this position, he immediately crashed. So will this happen again? This is where he gained all that time, and then he was right on him. They went bar to bar over this big tabletop. And then Carr went off the track in the berm at the bottom of the hill before the leap. So now what happens here? Partillo has to avoid a rider in front of him. He still is going to go for the leap. I think he's a little short, though. He is. And Carr cases as well, but he's got the inside line. He's going to take the lead. Partillo swings wide. He's going to try to take it back, but Carr takes over the lead after about 8 or 9 laps. Finally, a different leader, as Partillo did everything he could to hold on to it, but Seth Carr was relentless and finally breaks through, as he is leading this race now with about 8 minutes and 2 laps still to go. So Carr now from Partillo, Shirley, and then Leitzel is your top 4. Jeremy Schiabro is in 5th with Cepeda 6th. Ben Keifa is still 7th with Fauser climbing all the way up to 8th. Great ride for him. Austin Schaefer 9th, and Andozi Ezcurra rounds out the top 10. Stevenson 11th, Horn 12th, Cobble 13th, Tharp, Williams, and then Matherly. So Matherly up into 15th now. This is just not going the way Matherly thought it would in this moto. Especially because at one point he was ahead of Shirley, gaining quite a few championship points. And I feel like it just went all awry when he got absolutely demolished by Brandon Nygren. And again, I don't know that that was intentional based on the way that the lines were coming together, but boy, oh boy, that was certainly quite a heavy contact for him. And now Matherly is slipped back even further. He was actually in a position where he's knocking on the door for a top 10. And then he crashed again, I think, and then fell almost out of the points. Be tough, I think, to... Well, he has a chance to get into the top 10. I would be hard-pressed to say he gets very far into the top 10, though, at this stage of the race where everybody is on the track. Fun little battles going on throughout this mix, though, and some solid rides as well. Can't discount some of these guys, as Partillo still sits second. So he did, I think, have Leitzel on him, or maybe there was the lap rider I saw. The Leitzel, yeah, I think he was on him, so I don't know. Partillo's still only just 3 seconds off the lead. He's keeping it close enough that if Carr has a big one, he'd get it right back. And now that we're into the final 6 minutes plus 2 laps of this race, he is still certainly in discussion for this race win. 209.1 Seth Carr, 212.2 for Partillo, and then a 208.3 for Leitzel. So Leitzel is catching him. It's Shirley the one that's been losing it. He must have been closer and then had a crash. We'll see lap time check this time by for Shirley. And yeah, 223.3. So definitely lost a lot of time. Went down somewhere that we did not see. Now the question for Partillo is a podium potential here with now Shirley so far back. Leitzel, based on speed, will likely get to him in about a lap and a half. But Shirley is 14 seconds behind him. So if Partillo just does his laps, I don't know that Shirley catches him on merit from here. And that means that third place is certainly doable. Just still hitting his marks. That's all that counts. For Leitzel, though, this is a really, really good turnaround ride. And it's very likely he goes 2-2 today, which means both motos he is going to gain points in the championship on Seth Shirley and Cade Matherly. So don't count him out just yet. He is still in this thing. Wait a minute. Carr has gone down from the lead, and Partillo has taken it back over. Carr around the outside goes to the inside of the track, trying to make this pass back again. I don't think he wants to wait around as much anymore, but Partillo has it once again as he leads this race. We go up to the leap once again. This time I think he will hold it as he goes to the outside line right here. Carr trying the middle rut. Got through it a little bit cleaner, but Partillo keeps it on. Big old scrub landing off of that tabletop. Let's see, does Carr choose a different line? He does. Partillo's been sticking to this line because he doesn't like doubling in, and Carr's going to take advantage to retake the lead. But man, oh man, this is not over. It's not over for the win. It's not over for the overall either with Leitzel in the mix. If Leitzel can win this moto, he would win the overall. So he obviously wants a piece of this, and Partillo is just trying to hopefully maybe land on the podium or maybe even steal this win away if those guys really get into it. But as Carr tries to streak away, Leitzel is going after Partillo for the 2 spot now. And no sign of Shirley in the background, so this is a mano-a-mano battle really for the top 3 positions between these 3 guys. Oh, Partillo. I thought he was going through the front door. Oh, that's a stand-up, and he's down. Wow, he stayed on 2 wheels for so long, even in that crash. And finally, it comes apart as he goes up and over the bars, down out of P3. But he still has a huge gap back to Shirley. Looks like P3 should be his based on that. Now, the question that remains in this race is, can Logan Leitzel run down Seth Carr and pick up his first overall win of the season and just get right back into this championship fight with a win here at RedBud? This would be massive. Of course, if you're Seth Carr, you're also in this championship fight. You cannot discount where Carr sits in these standings. Oh, off the track. Leitzel's going to take over the lead. Logan Leitzel is now leading at RedBud and is in position to win the overall as Carr almost went down again. These two are splitting motos 1-2, 2-1, but of course the better second moto gets the victory. So can Carr now respond and go back after Leitzel? Or will these two maybe even get together and allow Partillo back into the picture? Never quite know there either. Though it looks like they are pretty far gone from Partillo, who must have made another big mistake. Man, Carr is absolutely pushing it right now. So yeah, Carr and Leitzel both. There was only 8 points separating them. They were 26 and 34 points down in the championship, respectively. Turns out they're the ones that are the alphas here today at RedBud, and they're going for it for this overall win. The points gained today will be massive for both. Carr in the first moto picked up 8 points on Shirley. He was 21 points down, so that goes from 21 down to 13 points behind Shirley in just the first moto alone. Gained 8 points on, or 10 points on Matherly, so he was 16 down to Matherly. Seth Carr, depending on where Matherly ends up, could even leave here ahead of Matherly in the points. And if you're Leitzel, of course, you were 34 back. Not going to pass those guys, but so many points to be gained today for both of these guys. This championship has completely changed in dynamic coming off of this break after High Point. And here we go for the lead. Carr up the inside, gets back by Leitzel. He is out front again. Unbelievable turn of events here today. And Seth Carr is him. He wants this win so bad, and is throwing caution to the wind to make it happen. So Seth Shirley has indeed gotten around Austin Partolo to move into the 3 spot. Partolo now 4th, 6 seconds ahead of Ben Kaifa, who's also having a really, really good ride. Manuel Cepeda, just 2 guys that should be talked about more for their rides in this race if it wasn't for how good Partolo rode. 3-digit dudes doing the damn thing here today at RedBud. Luke Fauser also having a great ride. Stevenson, Horn, Schaefer, Schiabro, Ezcurra, and then Matherly, who looks like he may have just been down. He is 13th, and this is a moto he will want to forget. Meanwhile, up front, Seth Carr is about to take the 2-lap board. And this is, wow, quite a turn of events. So, like I said, he was 26 back of Matherly and gained 10 points on him in the first moto. Right now, Matherly is only picking up 8 points in this race to the 25 points that is being gained right now by Seth Carr. Seth Carr, as it stands, would be 1 point ahead of Matherly. He will have gained 27 points on the championship leader today. Of course, there is still going to be 2 laps to go for Matherly to try to pass Ezcurra and a few other guys, but that is unbelievable, the turn that the Tide has seen here today in this championship. Matherly doing everything he can. He is on Schiabro and Ezcurra right now just ahead, and going down, that is Schaefer, so that's a position gain for Matherly. Schiabro, Ezcurra, Matherly. Matherly trying to get into the top 10 by passing these 2 riders. Schiabro looks like he let Ezcurra and Matherly both go by. I don't know. That was a weird line choice. But Ezcurra goes through, Matherly goes by. This is now 10th and 11th, and now Ezcurra goes off the track, and Matherly picks up another position. Ezcurra gets on and gets taken out. So Matherly is now 10th, and Fauser was just down in 9th. That is going to be a potential another position for Matherly to gain if he gets there. Don't know that he'll get to those guys. And then we got Partolo, Cepeda, and Kaifa in a heated battle for 4th right now. So these are all those 3-digit guys I was talking about. 110 of Partolo, the 179 of Cepeda. Cepeda, inside move, gets Partolo. He's now 4th. Partolo into the bales and down, goes into the SpongeBob. And I absolutely hate it for him, because to lead that many laps and not get a top 5 is soul crushing. I've been there before. But now Partolo is in 6th. So Leitzel has taken back over the lead, and Carr has really blown this thing with the final 2 laps. He was in the lead, he crashed a few times, and now Leitzel is in a position to win this overall. We were watching some of those other battles, so apologies for missing it, but man, oh man, Logan Leitzel, a slow roll to get the season started this year. It was not the prettiest looking at the first couple of rounds for a defending champion. But this is going to be as sweet as it gets in terms of race victories, because he has firmly rooted himself back in this championship fight. The points are going to be so close among the top 4 after this one. Man, 18 seconds on Seth Carr just like that. Crazy. So Leitzel, for example, he was 27 points back of Seth Shirley, and in the first moto, he picked up 4 points on him, so that's now 23. And in this moto, he's picking up another 5 points on him. So he would be 18 points back of Shirley, who we believe is going to be the championship leader after this. But, man, we're going to have to do some serious math. So Leitzel leads us over the leap. He does not do it on the last lap. He's taking it easy. Seth Carr is going to kick himself for the opportunity lost here today. But Logan Leitzel will take it all the way to the bank. quite a moto, quite a day, and a very, very different championship picture moving into the second half of this season. For the first time in his title defense season, Logan Leitzel is in a race and overall winner. He wins Moto 2 at RedBud and takes the victory today with 2-1 scores. He will split scores with Seth Carr. Carr is going to go 1-2. He could have gone 1-1, but he really tossed it away late. Seth Shirley kind of plowing into those ruts right there. Looks like he'll pick up third in this race and third overall as well. He's going to go 4-3 on the day. And Emmanuel Cepeda, who is bike humping on the leap, having a great time right now. Got away from Ben Kaifa in the end. But in the end, Emmanuel Cepeda charged all the way forward and gets a very, very impressive fourth place finish. Well done to Emmanuel Cepeda. And then Ben Kaifa, also kudos to him. He ends up with a top 5 result on his 354 ride. Hayden Stevenson ends up in 6th. He just got Partillo at the flag. Austin Partillo leads, I think, the most laps in this moto of anybody else and ends up 7th. He should be happy with that. You can't hang your head too low. And Matherly remarkably gets all the way back to 8th. He got around Horn and Ezcurra, who are battling to the flag. Horn is going to get Andoni Ezcurra for 9th. And Ezcurra still down and just now finally picks it up, loses a few more spots. Schiabro ends up in 10th, 11th for Tharp, 12th for Luke Fowser. Ezcurra gets 13th, Schaefer 14th. Evan Holt picks up 15th, Cobble 16th, Allen 17th, Gatland 18th, Niles 19th, and McPherson is 20th, but he might try to get Niles here in the final sequence of corners. Not going to have a good drive through the whoops here, I think, to get him close, but not close enough. So McPherson crosses the line in 20th. That is our point scores in this moto. So Logan Leitzel picks up the dub here at RedBud. We'll wait for penalties to make it official. But Matherly, who is 7 points up on Shirley, was 5 points up after the first moto. Gets an 8th in this moto, which is worth 13 points, I believe. 13 points for him, whereas Shirley picks up another 20 points. And now Shirley goes from 5 back after the first moto, gaining 7 points in this one. He has got a 2-point lead in the championship, whereas Leitzel, who ends up gaining a total of 9 points on Shirley today, goes from 34 back of Shirley. No, goes from 27 back of Shirley to just 18 back. And Seth Carr, who was 19 points behind Seth Shirley, ended up gaining 9 points today on him as well, I believe. Or actually, let me think. Yeah, he gained 9 points as well because him and Leitzel tied. So 9 points gained for Carr, 9 points gained for Leitzel. And like I said, he was 19 points back of him, so he's 10 points off of Shirley. We have 4 riders 18 points apart and 3 riders separated by just 10 points now. Wow. Unbelievable. As Leitzel rolls it onto the podium, and I wish we had the RedBud crowd going crazy for him because certainly deserved after one heck of a day of racing here at RedBud. And Logan Leitzel, well, I certainly can fully say he is back in this championship fight. Holy smokes. That 250 race was incredible. And now we get to do it one more time here tonight at RedBud. 450 Moto number 2 coming up. So after the first 450 moto, where Johnson also didn't have the best of time, ends up 7th, and Leclerc gets 2nd. So that's 22 versus 14 points. Leclerc gained 8 points in that moto. He is provisionally back in the championship lead by 1 point over Payson Johnson. Cooper Hunt, of course, with the win. Pablo Vial getting 3rd. Eaglin 4th. Lang 5th. Carter 6th. Johnson 7th. Castellaneta 8th, Barcini 9th, and Burns 10th. So we have a championship dogfight in both classes going on right now. And it's actually somehow even closer in the 450 class with just 1 point separating Leclerc and Johnson, provisionally speaking, going into this second moto. Crazy stuff. All right. Crossweeze. I think I've said this before already on this stream, but I'm not replacing Daniel Blair, but I am, and I just confirmed this week 100% going to be part of the Racer TV broadcast crew for Loretta's this year. So I think all 6 days of racing, I will be there commentating. I don't know how much, in what capacity, but I am part of the broadcast team in some shape or form. So get my foot in the door a little bit there, and I think there are at least some opportunities available in front of me soon. So hopefully it all works out. I'm stoked. Alrighty. Take a look at some of the guys going to the line here. Zane Urich, Braden Carter, Tyler Lang, Caleb Hall. Mason Johnson with a gear switch. Maybe that's what he needed. And the handguards. Definitely needed those. Cooper Hunt, Moto 1 winner. Colby Eaglin, Will Canal. Did he land that? Of course he does. Devin Davis, Hayden Gross, Spencer Turley, Aaron Rockefeller, Enzo Butigny, Reno Brennan, Austin Bear, Eduardo Simos, JGMX, Gary Laser Eyes, Jeremy Siebold almost landed that. Kyle Boardman. There's a two smoke of Trevor Burns, Jared Gummison, Anthony Pachone, Gustavo Navega, Pablo Vial, Adam Holm. You name them, they're here. And they are ready to do battle. All right, where is that hole shot going to come from? I feel like we're going to see more towards the middle of the box this time. Let's see where it ends up being. Cooper Hunt's way down the inside. How about Jeremy Siebold? Can he get off the gate well? Here we go. Not off the gate well for Siebold. It is a Cowie up the middle who backs out of the challenge early. Carter runs it in deep. He and Leclerc are both down. Enzo Butigny picks up the Studio 8 hole shot award. He's got Vial with him. Cooper Hunt with a great start. Trevor Burns is up here. Ethan Parks and Tyler Lang's also with good starts. It was Carter who blew every rut on the inside line and hit Leclerc, and they both went down together on the outside of the first corner, reminiscent of RJ Hampshire and Jalik Swoll at High Point. Unbelievable how that just happened. Where is Payson Johnson? I don't see the red plates in the background either as everybody tries to jockey for those early positions, but this is incredible right now. Enzo Butigny to lead the race and try to get away at the front of the field. It's two fast Frenchmen at the front as it looks like Johnson is in about 20th on the number one machine. Man, that was a chaotic first turn. And I think they are both really buried. Yeah, Leclerc 30th. Wow. The Boutigny and Vial up front, and Vial, this could be the perfect time for him to try to win a moto. But Cooper Hunt is up here as well, so you can't count him out. He won the first moto. Boutigny stalls out in the corner. Vial goes to the lead. Boutigny trying to fight back. Burnsy with a good start. He's now in the second as Boutigny goes down. And we're hitting the leap on the first lap with Vial taking us there. Vial. Burnsy backwards. Cooper Hunt's right there. T-Lang up in the mix as well. Frank Jackson. Gummison. Bear. Boutigny. Turley. Marchini. Gary Laser Eyes. Zane Urich, Payson Johnson, Caleb Hall, Caden Gross, Jeremy Siebold, Castellaneta, Holm, Blakely, Carter, Leclerc side by side, McLaughlin, Dre Smith, Noah Bindis, Reno Brennan, Kevin Ferzaka, Rockefeller, Eaglin, Pachone, Boardman, Holiak, Simos, Navega. You also have Cocroft, JGMX coming up as well. Will Canal is out of this moto. Everyone having a blast. And Burnsy throwing it in the lead group. So it is Cooper Hunt to the lead. He has gotten around Burns and Vial in one foul swoop. And off of his Moto 1 victory, the 18 machine is lead the field around. Shades of Jet Lawrence. If he were on a Yamaha, it's Cooper Hunt trying to go 1-1 here today. Oh, Hunt's down. He goes down out of the lead. He kind of stacks Burns up with him. He's in a precarious spot right there. Even Lang hit him, and now he's going the wrong way as he finally picks the bike back up and turns around and loses about 6 spots. And that puts Vial out front again. Burns kind of got stacked in the corner. Is going to have T-Lang on him now on the 5 in a battle for second place. So can Lang run Burns down? I feel like Burns is just soaking in the moment of being in the mix here. I mean, he was 10th in the first moto on this 2-stroke, so he's clearly got the speed today. Oh, just having so much fun. Laying the filth down on the leap lap after lap. Shall we just listen? Jesus. I don't even know how you know where you are during that whip. I just saw sky, and then he's landing. All right, so that's what a 203.7 looks like on a 252 stroke, in case you were wondering. Holy smokes, he's flying. I mean, Vial is doing a great job out front, but clearly a lot of eyes on the two-stroke in the mix in this race. Oh, that's pretty cool. Whoa! As I say that, he's down. The Lang goes up into second, and there goes Cooper Hunt now into third. Johnson is going to be now fifth, right behind Burnsy. And where is Leclerc and Carter? It's a real question. Leclerc up to 12th, it looks like. So he's making solid progress forward. Might be in 11th before long behind Gary Laser Eyes. Where is Carter? Carter not moving through the field as well as Leclerc is thus far. Just wide open in the inside line as Burns allows Johnson to go through. Johnson certainly looks like he's got the groove a-flowing in this second moto, unlike he had in the first one. It's going to be another Payson Johnson-y-ish type of day, I feel like. There's two different levels of Payson Johnson days. There's 1-1, complete domination, as easy as it looks, which he does often. And then there's these days where it's like, what the heck was going on in the first moto? Yes, he was down in the first corner. Yes, he had a couple weird crashes, but then, like, he also wasn't moving through the field as easily either. Now this one, it just looks like, oh yeah, that's the Johnson we were expecting to see. So 7-1 potential? Yeah, maybe. But T-Lang would like to say something about it, sir, as he has now gone to the race lead. He got around Vial and is leading here at RedBud. He would be going 5-1 as it runs. Vial would be going 3-2. Vial actually was in a position to win the overall when he was leading this race. Now he is not again, as that would be to Cooper Hunt. The 1-3 as it runs. And Johnson right behind him now on 7-4. With Burns on a 10-5. Frank Jackson's going down over the finish line. Jump, and Devin Davis just misses him. Anybody else going to hit him? Oh, Leclerc misses him as well. And just going through is Austin Bear on the 83. Wow, Carter 31st. Really rough go there. Leclerc, meanwhile, he just went 206.9. He's in 7th now. The unfortunate part for him is if he gets to 6th, Devin Davis passes him. Then he's got a long way to go to get up to the top 5 positions. So progress being made, but still has a lot of work to do. Cooper Hunt has been passed by Johnson, by the way. Johnson now into 3rd. And certainly has his sights set on the leaders. Meanwhile, Pablo Vial all over T-Lang in what is a battle for the win of this moto, but is the overall victory potentially for the taking for Vial if he can get to him. The overalls are going to be, I feel like, pretty up and down today. A 3-2 versus a 1-4 for Cooper Hunt right now is what gets it done. But, man, Vial would love to have a 3-1 on his list and a race victory and overall victory as well. Putting that pressure on T-Lang out front. Lang responding well. Up and over the finish line jump on to lap 6. It's Lang leading the way from Pablo Vial. 7/10 a second between him as Payson Johnson moves to 5 seconds back in 3rd place. Cooper Hunt, Trevor Burns still inside the top 5. Leclerc all over D. Davis and just got by him for 6th spot. So Leclerc now into 6th as this battle rages on for the lead. That outside line doubling across. Out of this corner, doubling, landing on the throttle, trying to get that power planted all the way to the top of the hill. And just kind of bouncing through those braking bumps. Both of them taking the inside line. They're actually matching pace of each other really well as Vial has the rear end step out coming down the hill and on corner exit right there. Remarkable not to crash, maybe even more remarkable not to lose time, as Johnson is chomping at the bit to get to that lead battle. Ooh, Vial, man, he's stepping the rear end out quite a few places. You can only do that so many times before it just goes 1 inch too far. Lang, for what it's worth, looks a lot more planted and comfortable. But Vial maybe a little bit faster hanging it out like that. We'll have to see which of the strategies works. Remarkably, they're actually... Oh, Lang, slide out. Going up towards the leap and not going to get it. So Johnson even is going to close up quite a bit in this exchange. But it does put Vial back into the lead and position for the overall win as it stands. Cooper Hunt on a 1-4 is losing right now to a 3-1 out of Pablo Vial. But so much racing left to go. 17.5 minutes plus 2 laps as Cooper Hunt kicks it out a little bit. Here is Lang versus Johnson. This is your two most recent RaceFactory Gaming National champions. Johnson, your defending champ, and of course Lang, your 2021 champion. Oof, bouncing into that rut, kind of crossed over a little bit for Johnson. Didn't get the power out on that straightaway that he was hoping for, and Cooper Hunt sees that as an opportunity to close the gap back down ever so slightly. Honestly, seems like a lot of this front group is pretty closely matched at this point. Track is fast enough that everybody can do kind of the same lines. No one's really sending it that much harder in any areas. So are we going to see the battles kind of tighten up a little bit, or is this going to eventually end and we'll see some crashing again? Because Johnson looks like he is catching Lang. No question about that. But I also think Lang is maybe re-catching Vial. And then as these guys catch Vial and maybe slow each other down a little bit, you got Cooper Hunt just behind Johnson, about 2 seconds behind that. They would also like to get into the mix. Yeah, Lang's honestly like kind of put time between himself and Johnson. It was closer. And Lang looks like he's picked up the intensity a little bit to get away from the number 1 machine. So Vial is still leading this thing as we approach the halfway point of this race. And just trying to hit his marks and not think about the 2 guys that are catching him and the accolades and talent that they bring with them. Now it looks like Johnson has actually closed that gap back down a little bit more to the rear tire of Lang, and actually now he's got a great run to the finish line jump. They're going to be side-by-side dualies. Lang gets the power down, trying to hold Johnson off, but Johnson cuts the line down and makes the pass stick. Also got that inside rut beautifully and moves into second place. Wow, look at how good he is through that inside rut too, like barely hit any of the braking bumps. So now, next up for him will be to try to catch and pass Pablo Vial. The riders that are up here in the front group, though, Johnson will not contend for the overall win here today, but a win in the second moto is going to pay dividends championship-wise if Leclerc can only manage to get up to 6th where he's at. And lap traffic is soon to be in play as well. We got a host of them coming up here, maybe 5-6 guys in a train. And Vial, at the moment, will hit them first, but Johnson is catching him in a hurry. And you're just seeing that gap tighten up slowly but surely. I mean, immediately Johnson passed Lang and put, what, 3 seconds on him? Crazy. And they've completely dropped Cooper Hunt, who's back there with Burnsy now. They're actually only 10 seconds ahead of Leclerc. That could end up helping Leclerc in the long haul of this race if he can get on those guys. Oh, Johnson down huge, flipping off the track. Man, he was pushing hard, and I think that was just one front end push over the berm too much. So back to third place he goes. T-Lang back into second as Vial continues to lead and continues to be in position to win the overall of this race. So here's Burns still in fifth place, and then Leclerc sixth, Castellaneta seventh, Davis is in eighth, Caleb Hall ninth, with Frank Jackson rounding out our top 10, and pretty spread apart top 10 as well. Enzo Butigny, after getting the whole shot, runs in 11th. Nico Marchini is 12th. Gary Laser Eyes in 13th. Connor Holiak is 14th. Austin Bear 15th. Aaron Rockefeller 16th, with Ethan Parks going off the track on the inside. Careful track rejoin. So Adam Holm actually goes to 16th. Eaglin 17th. Really rough moto for him. Cocroft 18th. Parks 19th. And then for Zaka, battling with McLaughlin for 20th right now. And where is Carter? Is Carter out of this race? No, he's still going, but not having a good time. 23.8 last time by. He is 20 to 30 seconds off of points right now. Tough night right here for Carter, especially because in the first moto he was leading and looked like he was getting away with Leclerc, and then crashed a bunch, ends up sixth. This moto can't even stick with Leclerc after they both crash early. Now he's outside of the points, and that is watching any semblance of being in this championship fight kind of slip away in two weird motos. All right, where are the battles? Are we got any of them? Butigny on Frank Jackson, maybe the closest. Like, even the mini map shows a lot of spread apart stuff going on here. Gary Laser Eyes just went down. Marchini and Holiak are having a duel for 12th. Outside to in is Marchini, and Holiak goes down. Marchini hits him, but does not fall off the bike. Man, a lot of guys crashed in that off-camber corner and disconnected today. There's another crash. Gary Laser Eyes. Ethan Parks is going to gain 2 spots as Holiak jumps on the track behind him. Devin Davis has Marchini right behind him, I believe, or Butigny, I should say, and then Frank Jackson just ahead of him. Caleb Hall quietly inside of the top 10. Alexis Leclerc is still 6th. He's 19 seconds off the nearest rider. He's got a long ways to go. And then this Hunt, Johnson, Burns battle. So Johnson lost a spot. Burnsy's back into the top 3. So Lang 7 seconds off the lead, and Johnson has gone from fairly close to the lead to 29 seconds off the lead. And then I don't know what's up with Leclerc, because he was 30 seconds off the lead, and now he's 51 seconds off, so he's had 2 crashes as well. Things not really going his way. We got the Two Smoke versus Pace and Johnson battle happening on the track right now, and the Two Smoker hits the deck hard. Burnsy's down again. There's Leclerc going the other way. Gives you an indication of his withstanding in terms of this battle. Pablo Vial is quietly walking away with this moto, and with it is taking the overall victory with him. It'll be a 3-1 performance if he holds on. And I'm trying to rack my brain if this would be his first career overall win or not. I think he has won a moto before. But trying to lap Jeremy Seabolt right now. Seabolt backs out of the challenge and lets him go. Very nicely done. 11 seconds in hand over Lang, 26 on Johnson. And Leclerc trying to get to Burns to get into the top 5. He's got 6 seconds on Castellaneta. Go with a little slide out. And Vial looks good. Whoa! And as I say that, instant legs off on a tough block. Oh, man, the shape files on that hay bale did him dirty because his head was well above it. But must have just hit his body, I guess. And now T-Lang is going to be all over him for the lead. So that is completely changing the complexion of this race and the overall was standing as well. Weird crash, and now another big mistake for Vial. Looks to be flustered. And Lang is eyeing the opportunity to try to take advantage. Seabolt down, getting out of the way. Johnson 15 seconds off the lead. Suddenly kind of back into it a little bit. We all picked it back up and kind of immediately put a little gap between himself and Lang. Just enough that Lang isn't close enough to try to pounce. It's still pretty darn close. And thank you to Trevor Kirkley for the sub. Not sure if he's currently watching this or if he's watching another video, but I have alerts on because I've been streaming on Twitch a little bit more lately and always like having alerts on there. Turned them off for these races when I was trying to be a little bit more serious with the esports scene. But now I'm just having fun with it again, so trying to get donations and stuff to show up on the alert box. I don't know why it didn't show up earlier. Oh. These little twitchy bounces for Vial. Like, it doesn't seem like much if you're just kind of not really in tune with what he's doing on the bike, but I feel like any of those I would have crashed already 3 times. Wow, Johnson got passed by Hunt, so Johnson went down, and Leclerc is right on Trevor Burns. Meanwhile, Vial just shorted the double up the hill, and Lang is on him again for the lead. And this is certainly now for the overall win for Vial. He has to beat Lang and keep Lang between himself and Cooper Hunt, who has now moved into 3rd place because at the moment, Vial and Cooper Hunt are tied on points for the day, but the better second moto score gets the tiebreaker, which of course would be Vial getting the moto win. If he loses that spot to Lang, it would be a 1-3 score for Hunt would get it done. So we'll see if it holds on. Vial, wow, cuts the track. That's going to be a little bit of time added to his TRT based on penalty cuts. Oh, lap traffic. Nearly getting in the way. I mean, Vial was very lucky that SpongeBob didn't take him down. It looked like his handlebar even clipped it slightly, and now he's really gone down. Very similar crash to what Johnson had happen to him. And you can see the rear end just kind of slide out and then immediately compress and kick him back the other way into a big high side. Oh, went for the leap and cased it and is down again. And just like that, goes from leading to 20 seconds off the lead. Not going to win the overall anymore and might still get caught and passed by Cooper Hunt. Still Johnson back here. There's Burns and then Leclerc. Wow, Leclerc is not that far behind Johnson now. So in a moto where I thought, oh, Johnson's easily going to gain points back on Leclerc, it's not that cut and dry anymore. He's only about 4 seconds behind him. And he's losing 4 points, or 5 points, sorry, 3 points right now as it runs. So you go from a, what did we say it was, a 1 point advantage to a 2 point deficit. Gained 8 points in the first moto, was 7 points down, losing 3 points right now. So it's a 5 net in his advantage. get around Burns, though. That would be another critical point. Burns really hung him tight there, and Leclerc, I think, frustratingly jumped to the outside to maybe pin him off the track. Didn't work, though. Here it is, Leclerc. Oh, man! Destroys Trevor Burns. And that is frustration coming out. But to be fair with Leclerc in that situation, Burns did cross-jump him a couple times and crossed over in the middle of the straightaways. So the frustration coming out is because of parts of that too, I think. Clearly sick and tired of having to deal with him, though, but ends up still having to keep dealing with him. And now Burns is going to fight back down the inside and take Leclerc and himself out again. So now they're just screwing with each other, and that's going to be a position gained for Castellaneta right here on his teammate. So Leclerc kind of does himself dirty right there. I don't know if that same thing would have happened if he passed Burns straight up, if Burns would have teed him off back. Like, I don't know what the situation is between the two of them, but now Leclerc is down again, and just when he was going to maybe start reeling in Johnson to gain some points, it's all come unglued. And unbelievably, Johnson is going to leave here with the championship lead pretty comfortably in the end as he almost loops out. Burns still just throwing Oppo whips there in P5. Braden Castellaneta is going straight up and down in the air, and Leclerc is just not having a good time. Pretty weird sequence of events. Like, I don't feel like it's often I see Leclerc get that flustered by something. I've definitely seen Johnson get that flustered by something, but not Leclerc. So, yeah, was not expecting to see that just now. But it happens. And if you're Tyler Lang, you're just like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. I'm just going to let you guys do your thing. There'll be a 5-1 performance on the day for T-Lang. Not enough to win the overall, but I think he should still get on the podium. And Vial just went down. Cooper Hunt is now into second. And this is a 1-2 day now for Cooper Hunt. Johnson almost went down coming out of that corner. Burns, Castellaneta, Leclerc, Jackson, Hall, Eagland. Eagland, wow. What a charge back into the top 10. That's going to be as far as he goes. We only got a minute left on the clock and 2 laps. And he's got 30 seconds to make up to get any further than this. But he was way down the order, like halfway through this race even. So to get back into the top 10 is pretty good. That's pretty remarkable, though, for Eagland to get back to this position. Like I said, like he was really, really far back. So to even get there is pretty good. And are we still going to see any more drama in this moto? Well, Vial just rolled the finish line jump either from a slide out or a small crash. And now he's lost touch with Cooper Hunt. He's not going to win this overall today. But can he hold off Payson Johnson is the next question, which is always a tough task to do. And I think these guys beat the mark back to the flag, so we got 3 laps to go. Oof. Johnson into the tough blocks and out of them. Let's go on board with Johnson and see what this looks like, trying to reel in Pablo Vial. Wow, 2:01.4 for Johnson as his best lap. That is unbelievably fast. You just get an idea of how gnarly this track has gotten. Like all the where all the ruts are now. Bumps and how they lead you into every corner. Like, look at that, even like just landing and immediately pop a 3, and Johnson's down again. Rear end kicked out. Acceleration bumps look like they bit him there. And he's going to get up still in 4th. Pretty big gap back to Burns. So Lang, Hunt, Vial, Johnson looks like it's going to be our top 4 here in this moto. Burns probably going to stay 5th. And Leclerc is going to be stuck in 7th. So Leclerc will net gain points on Johnson today. He'll gain 4 points on him, as Johnson at the moment is going to go 7-4, whereas Leclerc is going to go 2-7. So he'll gain those 4 points, and it'll be down to a 3-point gap in the championship. But man, if you're Leclerc, like, it's just was there for the taking, an opportunity to gain points on him, and instead of focusing ahead and trying to find a spot, what I would have done if I was Leclerc and you really felt like Burns was doing you dirty there is wait until you were close enough to put him down without taking yourself down. Like, he came in and just absolutely murdered him from so far back that there's no chance he's going to stay up anyway, so there's no point in that. You gotta, if you're frustrated with someone, you can't take yourself out too. It's a stupid maneuver to do. Now, I'm not saying that taking Burns out was the right move either. I think you could have probably passed him straight up, but I also get that he may have been worried Burns would take him out regardless if he passed him. So you want to take him out and be the one to start it. You can't be the guy that goes down with it too. All right, Johnson back onto Vial again. Vial had come back from off the track, saw him rejoin, and was waiting to see if Johnson could maybe quickly make the pass, but now it is back to a battle for 3rd place. In the later stages of this one, white flag will come out next time by. Johnson's got a great drive up the hill. He's looking inside. Vial beats him to the punch and gets in there. White flag out here at RedBud. Tyler Lang is on his way to the Moto win. It will not be the overall win, and Vial off the track allows Johnson through and into 3rd place again. So that's another 2 points gained for Johnson. It's only going to be a 2 net gain for Leclerc on the day. Go from 7 points down to 5 as it runs. And Leclerc is too far back to catch Castellaneta or any of those guys. He could still crash and let Jackson go by. I think 7th place is probably where he'll end up. In the meantime, this man right here, I believe he was the one that picked up the Moto win in Moto 2 at High Point going into the break. And I think you take away some first turn crashes this week, or just first lap crashes, I should say, I think Tyler Lang might have the ball rolling again in this championship. It's going to be a 5-1 day. Like I said, it's not going to be the prettiest thing, but he did end up beating Payson Johnson in both motos, who he needs to beat to battle for this championship. And he will end up on the podium overall. Trying to determine, I think he's still going to finish behind Vial on points. No, actually, you know what? I think he does beat him. I think he beats him by 1. So this might be 2nd overall for Lang behind Hunt. So it is going to be Cooper Hunt's day. But it's going to be Tyler Lang's Moto victory for the taking. Off the leap one more time. He's pumped. And we talked about it when he won, I believe, back at High Point, and how long it took him to go 1-1. Finally win motos at Budds Creek in 2022. In his title defense year, he was just not there, really. And so finally gets the ball rolling here earlier on. Has a good first moto and a much better second moto. Tyler Lang is going to bring it home, and T Lang takes 450 Moto 2 at RedBud. But the day and the overall will belong to this man, which I believe is going to be the first time in his 450 class career He wins the first moto. He charges valiantly to get back into second place in this one, takes it away from Pablo Vial, and Cooper Hunt has won the RedBud National in MX Simulator. 1-2 performance on the day, more points than anybody else. He got the job done. Payson Johnson is going to go 7-3, trying his best to match Alexis Leclerc. Pablo Vial at one point could have won this race and could have won the overall. And in the end, he is going to have himself a 3-4 day, or I believe third overall on the Impact 27. Trevor Burns holding off Connor Holiak, who's a lap down. Burnsy's going to go 10-5 today, and Leclerc did end up getting Castellaneta, so that is another point back in his favor. It's going to be a 3-point net gain today. He'll go from 7 back to 4 back in this championship as we head to the midpoint next week at Southwick, and Leclerc is very good at Southwick. So 6 for Leclerc, 7th Castellaneta. Jackson is going to get 8th. And Caleb Hall, like he's got 9th pretty well under wraps. Colby Eaglin did get all the way to 10th and is the last guy on the lead lap. Marchini 11th, Adam Holm 12th, Devin Davis was 13th, Ethan Parks ends up 14th, 15th for Chase Blakely, 16th for Braden Carter, so he at least got back into the points, but a really tough second moto for him. Gary Laser Eyes gets 17th in this one, Connor Holiak 18th, Jeremy Siebold 19th, and Kevin Verzaka 20th. As T-Lang takes his spot on the podium to celebrate, but Cooper Hunt sits atop the tabletop as the overall winner here today at RedBud. And I believe for the first time in his 450 career, he is a winner. So Cooper Hunt takes RedBud and stands on the podium with T-Lang. You got the 2-stroke up there as well. Why not? He went 10-5 on the day. He got obliterated by Alexis Leclerc and still had a good time. Shout out to all these gentlemen for a great day at the races, and yeah, they provided the goods again. So well done to all of them. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. All right. That has been the RedBud MX Simulator National, back in studio with you guys, sending you off for the evening. Pretty crazy day of racing, and we saw the championships tighten and actually flip in the favor of Seth Shirley in the 250 class. He now has the championship lead. We have an 18-point separation between our top 4 in the 250 class championship, and now just 4 points separating Alexis Leclerc and Payson Johnson in the 450 championship. And we get to head to Southwick next week and see how these guys handle sand. We'll be there on July 5th, so hopefully you guys will join us the day after Independence Day. I know that RedBud is normally the 4th of July National, but I feel like Southwick this year we might do a little bit more fun with celebrating a late Independence Day on the stream. But hopefully you guys enjoyed all the action here tonight. Big shout out, of course, to RaceFactoryGaming.com and the RaceFactory Gaming track crew for always putting on a tip-top show and performance for us to call. And all of you guys at home for watching. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in, being lively in the chat, and supporting your favorite racers. It's always a good time to see you guys there and all the racers on the track having a great race here tonight at RedBud. So we'll be back same time, same place next Wednesday, July 5th, for the Southwick MX Simulator National. We're going to send you guys on your way. Enjoy your RedBud weekend and Independence Day next Tuesday. We'll see you on July 5th for Southwick. So long for now.